Hello there, everybody. We're back again with part 2 of the critical book review of this new quote-unquote official Illuminati book release, their first official public contact with the global population through this book here called the Illuminatiam, or Illuminatiam, the First Testament of the Illuminati. So this is part 2. Yesterday we did part 1. It was about 2 hours and 45 minutes, and we expect this one will probably be about 2 hours to 2.5 hours. We're going to jump right back in where we left off yesterday, which is at chapter 5. My name is David Bryson, and thank you for joining me here, and hope that you'll share this information with your friends. And what we are trying to determine here is whoever is promoting this movement, this book, the website, the Facebook page with 50,000 people, whether they are lunatics, liars, Luciferians, or Illuminati, or perhaps all four. So you be the judge. I am just here to help move things along. So anyway, let's open up the screenshot here. Let's see, we want to get right to our scribed page. Let's see. Here we go. Excellent. Okay, let me see if I can clean this up a little bit. I want to get this Lazarus effect advertising off this page if I can at all. Okay. Oh, we don't want that. We want to X that actually. How can I X the ad? I don't know if I can X the ad. All right, guys, well, you're going to have that creepy red face over to the right. It looks like, again, for the whole day, the whole time that we're together. Okay. Let's jump right back into it. Chapter 5. Fear not for the struggles you face in this moment. Be they money, relationships, war, or famine, hardships exist to harden the armor surrounding your soul. Yes, we can all agree that struggles builds character, and everybody can relate to personal struggle. We are all having some kind of struggle or another. That's why we should be kind to each other, is because everybody is struggling, even if they maintain a pretty together outward demeanor. Oh, I want this ad to be gone. Oh my goodness. Okay, excuse me here. Let's X this again. I guess I can't get rid of it. These are impermanent. These struggles are impermanent and temporary concerns that plague each and every member of the human species, regardless of wealth or power or prestige. No one is free from their clutches, but know that you are always safe in the light. Your life is filled with many choices that determine your future. Sometimes you may wonder why things must be so hard, and why some must struggle while others live in superfluity. Is this truly fair? Wealth is a lie, money is merely words. The rich are no different from the poor, and the haves are no different from the have-nots. All our bodies dressed in clothes, paying for things with paper and stone. Who decrees that gold is of more value than sand? Who claims that holding a paper with a number printed on it is more valuable than a fruit that grows on a tree? When one is hungry, they cannot eat paper or gold. Words are the true power of the elite. Words say that printed paper and polished rocks can be traded for food and water and shelter. Words say that numbers on a bank's computer screen determine a human's value is higher than another's. Words are the wealth of the wealthy. Knowledge is the power of the words. If your life is faced with struggles, remember the power of the mind. Remember that your brain bears no physical difference from that of a millionaire, a billionaire, a queen, or a president. Remember that those of power were born with minds as empty of knowledge as every other child. What they chose to fill theirs with led them to a life of abundance. Okay, let's pause right there. What they're implying here is what they chose to fill their minds with led them to a life of abundance. Okay, exclusivity, greed, selfishness, callousness of heart, disregard for the welfare of others, putting profits over people. I mean, these are some of the characteristics that we all know are the root causes for all of the pain and suffering that we see in the world. So to say that there's no difference between the haves and the have-nots, it's just that the people with the wealth and abundance chose to fill their minds with certain things that led them to a life of abundance. Well, you know, certainly if you become a sociopath, and the you know, kind of standard definition for sociopath is that person who has no regard for other people. They lack empathy. They can't feel into the plight and the struggle and the suffering of other individuals. They block it out. They focus only on what they want and on getting what they want without any regard for how they're hoarding and grabbing and exploitation and means to obtain that which they desire affects other human lives. So in other words, they make themselves out to be God as the all-important, and everybody else are like insects, you know, little regard whatsoever. You can squash them easily. If they get in your way or inconvenience you at all, you can just squash them like a bug. Okay, so I do not believe that creating the mind of a sociopath that leads to ill-gotten gain, okay, essentially theft from others through banking schemes and money-making schemes and get-rich-quick schemes, I don't believe that that's healthy. And I would never call that a life of abundance. Just because you have lots of stolen money that you could buy lots of trinkets makes you just a clever thief and you know, a clever sociopath. It doesn't make you a good person or a deserving person. And if that's your idea of abundance, well, there's a lot of other people who have a much different idea of what abundance means. When drowning in water, swim until you can swim no more. When drowning in hardships, do the same. Struggles are always temporary, though it may seem as if you are walking through an endless tunnel, disoriented in the midst of uncertainty. Dawn will always break through in the end. There is no finality in life except death, and no hardship too crushing for you to overcome. This is all standard, you know, motivational stuff. It's fine. I mean, it's great. You know, we can all relate with that. Perfectly good idea. An empire will fall so greater empires can be made from its ashes. A life will crumble so that a greater future may be built with its pieces. There is a security in knowing that your life has purpose and that every moment is by design. Yes, everybody wants to feel like their life has meaning and that it has purpose rather than lacking meaning and purpose. I'm a little bit concerned about the suggestion here that a life will crumble so a greater future may be built with its pieces. I would never want that to be used as justification for genocide or having to wipe out a people group so that the greater part of humanity can flourish. You know, everybody has to remember that every human life is of infinite value because it's made in the image and likeness of the Creator, who is of infinite value and worth. When you kill a human being, you also kill God. So a homicide is also a deicide, which is the murder of God. A genocide is deicide times as many people are killed. We can never devalue human life. If we begin to relegate human life into a subcategory of worth, if we don't place human life at the pinnacle of that which is to be protected and safeguarded and preserved, then we have become betrayers of our own species. We have become traitors of our own humanity. So no, lives don't have to crumble so a greater future can be built with its pieces. We can correct whatever needs to be corrected right here, right now. In fact, this is really the main problem with humanity, is that we are unwilling to look at our mistakes, to identify them as such, and then correct our mistakes. We always want to cover our asses and avoid owning up and taking responsibility for our mistakes. So when we can begin to do that as a species, we can really evolve as a species. We have to enter into the great correction process. Find peace in the fact that the darkest moments in your life are merely required prerequisites for an illustrious future that approaches. Know that however dark your world may seem, the ever-present glow of the light will guide you to safety. So yes, the light at the end of the tunnel, the whole idea of like just keep pressing on, don't give up, never give up, believe in yourself. Yes, this is all well and good. Okay. I can't help but think of these 50,000 kids that are on the Facebook page, you know, holding up their books, and they're so happy. Let me see if I could find this page again here. Is this it? No. Let's see if we could find Illuminati. Where did you go? Okay, meanwhile, here is the official website. The official website of the Illuminati. Let's refresh that as well. Illuminati. Okay, here we go. 51,000. So I think of these 51,000 kids, you know, and the vast majority of them, I'm sure, are, you know, naive young people who, you know, want to be all love and light, and who think that they're really cutting edge by believing that the Illuminati is actually a really grand organization of really awesome people with great intentions. But you know, they've got their talismans that they're wearing. They've received the mark, you know, that they call their talisman that you can buy from their store. It's a necklace made of iron. They call it the mark. So these people have paid for their brand to receive the mark, and now they're wondering, as it says here, I am loyal to the Illuminati. Why am I not rich? As if by swearing allegiance or loyalty and without doing any real hard work, without producing substance, without being a creator, you know, people wonder why they're not rich. What do you believe? Do you live in a magical world where you think somebody has the power to wave a magic wand over your life and you'll just wake up one day a wealthy individual? That is infantile. That is childish thinking. That's magical thinking. It's not spiritually mature thinking in the least. So a lot of these folks, I'm sure, wondering, hey, I swim to the Illuminati. How come I'm not rich? Oh, here we go. Here's some folks down here as well. They're all wondering when that money's going to start rolling in, right? Okay. So let's go back to the text. The path of every person's life is hidden. The rich are born with no knowledge of their wealth, as are the poor and their poverty. Though you may feel that the struggles you face in this moment are undeserved, know that these are merely impermanent and temporary. Know that there are many paths for your life to follow, but by seeking the light, you will be led to freedom. The Illuminati gives where it is due and where true effort is made. A person who is unwise with a little will do worse with a lot. Those who are entrusted with little and use it for greatness are entrusted with more. Our organization does not send money to any member directly, but rather increases wealth through imperceptible means: unforeseen increases in pay, advancements at jobs, sudden returns on investments, and other undetectable avenues. Such events may have already come to pass in your life, with promises of more to come if you create goodness with what you have been given. The choices you make determine your life's road. If you lack wealth at this time, remember that the hardships you face now are only preparing you for the greater future you deserve. So let's go ahead and dissect this a little bit here. So first off, they are saying that that they only give wealth, that what's implicit is they give wealth where it's due and where true effort is made. So of course it's that guilt hamster wheel, which is, oh, they're not giving it to me because they see that I'm unworthy, you know, it's not due me, you know, and I'm running and trying really hard, and I swear so much allegiance and loyalty, and I wear my talisman, and I read the book, and I do what I can to make the world a better place, and I guess I'm just not making a true effort because the Illuminati says that they give where it is due and where true effort is made, so I guess I'm just not worthy and my efforts don't matter. You know, you see this in a lot of religions as well. Pure psychological manipulation. Then they actually use an idea that was actually spoken by Jesus Christ in a parable, where they say a person who's unwise with a little will do worse with a lot. Those who are entrusted with little and use it for greatness are entrusted with more. That's the parable of Jesus to the unwise servant. You can go look it up. Our organization does not send money to any member directly, obviously, but here again, claiming these godlike powers. So what they're doing is they're banking on what are statistical deviations that would occur eventually. You know, whether you have investments, sometimes it'll take a downswing, sometimes, you know, you'll get a windfall. People periodically, I mean, these things all happen as a matter of course in life. You get advanced at jobs that you excel in, returns on investments if you have a good investment, of course, other undetectable avenues. And what they want you to believe is that when good fortune strikes and comes your way, well, you can just thank the Illuminati, because that's them, not God, the creator, but these people who claim to be humans and yet have you know, these magical godlike powers to bring good fortune into your life. So again, it's playing on people's you know, fantastical and superstitious ideas around concepts of being lucky and good fortune and all this kind of stuff. So moving on now to the secret of power. Now this will be interesting, because anybody who's not truly aligned with the creator in humility, and who's not really tapping into the one true source of power, which is real relationship with God. Okay, when you plug into your source, that's where you get your power. Everything else is just stolen power or semblance of power, or just play acting. It's like a fake orgasm. Okay, you people out there with all these status symbols, you know, that's what they are. They're supposed to convey a certain status. So of course, social climbers are all about power. They want to know how to get to power, because they know that power attracts women, right? They know that power gives you influence in the world, and people will listen to you if you are perceived as a person of power. So everybody wants power, right? Well, not always a bad thing. It's really about what you want to use your power for. What is your intention? What is your ultimate intention of heart? If you had unlimited power, what would be the first three things that you do with it? Think about that. Chapter 6, power never rests upon those who deserve it. Power is given to those who reach to take it, and claimed by those who will stop at nothing to fulfill what they believe is their birthright. Wow, this sounds like the corporate mentality. As if power never rests upon those who deserve it. What about those people who humble themselves, okay, and seek wisdom and truth, and who take the long road to wealth and abundance because they never cheat, steal, or lie, okay, as opposed to everybody else who, you know, will kill their own mother and throw their children under the bus, or their friends, you know, for personal gain and advantage, right? So the idea that power never rests upon those who deserve it, I'm sorry, that's a complete inversion of the truth. So again, you've got to ask, Illuminati, this book, the people behind it, are they liars, lunatics, Luciferians, or Illuminati, or all four? So now that they've suggested an outrageous lie, which is that power never rests upon those who deserve it, what they offer in its place is what they suggest is the true key to power, which is the basic corporate mentality. When you think of all these suits who put profits over people in this cutthroat rat race, where you know, the treachery and the betrayal as people, like, you know, essentially throw each other under the bus just so they can, you know, step one step to the next rung on the ladder of ascent to power. So they suggest power is given to those who reach to take it, and claimed by those who will stop at nothing to fulfill what they believe is their birthright. The true source of all power is belief. Kings and queens breathe the same air and drink the same water as the poorest and lowliest of civilizations. Gold and diamonds are the same as rocks beneath every inch of the planet. Money and bank accounts are merely papers with numbers written on them or digits on a computer screen. Without belief, all treasures are valueless and all power ceases to exist. Anyone can manifest anything in their lives by using the powers of both intention and dedication. One cannot thrive without the other. A person who is poor but believes they should be rich, and who knows that they are destined for wealth, and who strives for success every day without ceasing in the face of hardships will receive money. That's actually great advice. I mean, again, not like this whole book is complete hogwash or malarkey. You can't do that. If you want to gain a following, there has to be a lot of resonant truth that's apparent on its face, you know, just incontrovertible, self-apparent, self-evident truth, and some great advice. And you know, one of the strategies in propaganda is to do what they call poisoning the well, which is that you have this great source, this great font of illumination, inspiration, but and it all looks great, it feels great, looks great, but you know, here and there you just insert crazy, wrong, inverted concepts, like the fact, like what they said before, that power never comes to people who deserve it, is an egregious lie and error to place in a book where you're going to have a lot of young, impressionable minds reading it. So that's what we call poisoning the well, which is that you drop poison into the well, okay? And the idea is, you know, back in a village where the well was the center place where the town would meet for their daily needs of water, they draw buckets from the well, take them into other containers back to their homes for cooking and for various other washing needs and whatever. And the idea is that if you want to poison, you know, a whole community, a whole village, well, you just dump some poison in the well because they all draw from that source. So that's where that comes from. This is not supernatural. It is the most naturally occurring effect of a human subconscious. You are who you say you are. The immense power of the mind has not yet been proven by science because we have taken steps to hinder its research. The ability to govern a population of trillions in secret is based upon a system of mental cues that guide intelligent creatures through mazes of our design without their knowledge of the maze's existence. Okay. First off, the ability to govern a population of trillions, again, are these guys aware that the current 2015 tally for global population is 7 billion? Do you understand that 1 trillion is 1,000 billions? When you say trillions and add an S to trillion, that means at least 2, maybe more. So at the very least, that's 2,000 billion. So are they suggesting that they govern populations on other planets and solar systems, other worlds, other dimensions? Okay. And that they govern through mental cues that guide intelligent creatures through mazes of our design. So again, this idea that they are the maze makers, and you know, we are the rats, and there's only one outcome. There's one entrance, then there's one exit. We can come to dead ends, have to turn around, but eventually we find our way out because they are so benevolently guiding us. Thank you, Illuminati. While those in our organization are familiar with the power of the subconscious, few of those outside have explored its inner workings. The subconscious mind is the human species' most powerful muscle and what sets it apart from all other creatures on this planet. Animals, plants, and organisms do not think subconsciously. They are merely creatures of instinct, pre-programmed to follow specific processes like an artificially intelligent computer. But humans are born with a mind that is aware of its own existence. A human can begin as a child who cannot walk, speak, or feed itself. But as the child grows, it can become a king or a beggar if the mind decides. Who claims that your kings are fit to dictate aspects of your lives? Who chose them to be your rulers? Who gives them the power to manage the boundaries of your freedom? Well, I hope you guys didn't, because that's going to piss a lot of people off if you guys claim to be in control of everything that happens on. If you're installing some of these people throughout history, these tyrants, these utter ridiculous fools, these pompous jackasses who exploit the people that they are supposed to be serving as public servants, okay? This notion of the divine right of kings, you know, that, you know, the king is above the law, as if there's two classes of beings, you know, and that the law doesn't apply across the board to all people. Nobody is above the law. The king is not above the law. The president is not above the law. Police are not above the law. Lawyers, judges are not above the law. Military people are not above the law. Order givers in the military are not above the law, and order followers in the military are not above the law. The law is king. Lex Rex. The law is king, okay? If you guys are claiming to put these people into power, I would say you're just as horrible as they are. Who gives them the power to manage the boundaries of your freedom? Who gives them the power to manage the boundaries of your freedom? Well, they do. They say that your obedience is their right. They say that soldiers must fight battles on their behalf while they reside in the safety of offices and bunkers. They say the police must defend their right to dominance, that citizens must obey their laws, and you agree to their authority, as do all the millions who surround you at your sides, simply because they tell you to. When recognized for the first time, such power will seem alarming and perhaps abused by those who remain in command. However, there is nothing to fear and no need for insurrection. These arrangements only exist for your safety and prosperity. What? You guys just went through this whole thing here. Contradiction, hypocrites. Okay, first off, you claim that you have, you're in charge of everything that happens on the planet. Like these godlike powers that even when good fortune comes our way, it's because of you guys, the Illuminati. Who chose these rulers? The kings. You did. Okay. Who gives them the power to manage the boundaries of your freedom? They do. They themselves give themselves the power to manage the boundaries of your freedom, of our freedom, the people. Of course, because they abuse their roles. They're not public servants. They are dominators. They're bound in the master-slave paradigm, like they are Pharaoh of Egypt or something, and the rest of the people are just like the slaves to build their pyramids and their corporations and their economies. So, of course, then you go through this entire list here that everybody just finds absolutely obnoxious. Of course, they say that our obedience is their right, that we've got to fight their battles while they hide and maintain their safety. They say that police must maintain and defend the right to dominance, and that citizens must obey the laws. We all agree to their authority, you guys are suggesting, as do the millions who surround you, simply because they tell us to. And then you go on to say, when you recognize this for the first time, such power seems alarming and perhaps abused by those who remain in command. Yes, it's abused by those who remain in command. But here's the big revelation. Ready? However, there is nothing to fear and no need for insurrection. Wait a second here. Dereliction of duty? That's of concern. I wouldn't say I'm afraid of it. I agree that there's nothing to ever fear because you as a sovereign being are the master of your destiny and of your life. There's no master above you. And God would rather feel to be felt as your friend rather than a master. So I would even say that God is not even your master, because God does not wish to be a master and have subjects and slaves like these fallen human pontiffs. So of course there's nothing to fear. But what the Illuminati are saying here is that all of these things seem alarming and look like abuse to us, and we know it's abuse because it infringes upon these policies. Again, let's go here. These rulers say that soldiers must fight battles while they reside in safety. They say that police have the right to dominate and defend their dominance if by force. We see all these police murders and abuse and excessive force. They say that citizens must obey their laws, even if the laws are unlawful. Big difference between legal and unlawful, right? We talked about that yesterday. You agree to their authority. Millions of people surround you simply because they tell you to. Yes, this is all offensive. Free people. I mean, this is why America declared its independence and threw off the chains of slavery to the English king, King George, and essentially said, fuck you. We're doing this on our own. Try to make us stop. And when they sent troops to try to make them stop, we beat them back every single time until they surrendered. But yet the Illuminati is saying that there's nothing to fear here and there's no need for insurrection because they know that this is the stuff that stimulates an insurrection. What do you think happened at the founding of this country, of America? It was a total rebellion against the King of England. He claimed that the 13 original colonies were British colonies. And the Americans said, what the fuck are we doing working our asses off for this jackass on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean who's trying to control our energy and our produce, our productivity, and then like tax us to death? Like, hell no. How outrageous. And they just got together and they all agreed it was totally obnoxious and unacceptable for an enlightened and evolved people who have, you know, greater dignity and self-respect than to be viewed and treated as slaves and servants and subjects. And they fucking rebelled. And yet here's the Illuminati saying, but there's no need for insurrection. These arrangements only exist for your safety and prosperity. So if nothing in this book has convinced you that it's a total scam, okay, I hope this part will, because these guys are basically condoning these actions that you know, the regular people, the fools, the useless eaters, the dumb beasts that the elite refer to us as. Henry Kissinger referred to American military personnel as dumb beasts, okay, that fulfill the will of the elite. And the elites say that these soldiers must die and fight battles. They must kill and be killed on their behalf to protect their banking interests and their wealth, while they're enjoying tea high up in their ivory towers, or, you know, playing poker down deep in their bunkers. And, you know, that police, you know, they only hire dummies. Do you know that if you're too smart, you will not be employed as a police officer? They only want idiots who are just smart enough to learn the rules and enforce them without questioning them. Okay, they can't have creative-minded people. And you know, every day we wake up and we hear new stories of, you know, excessive force here, another death, 5 new deaths today, police just shooting people. They're not even, do you know that police are not trained to wound? That if the guns come out, somebody's gonna die. They're trained to shoot to kill. Do you realize how outrageous this is? Okay, and yet the Illuminati is saying that all of these arrangements are for your safety and welfare. Okay, right down here. These arrangements only exist for your safety and prosperity. Yeah, right. Like, am I talking to Satan? Oh, I'm sure Satan is very pleased. Am I speaking to Lucifer here? Okay, or one of his many minions? Please. What a patent lie. Like, any wise, enlightened person can see through this bullshit for what it is. You agree to their authority, as do the millions who surround you at your sides, simply because they tell you. I don't agree to their authority simply because they tell me. I say, you know, I don't consent. I do not wish to contract with you. I have the right to free association or free disassociation, and I choose to disassociate with you. Thanks, but no thanks. I am not willing or consenting to go into any contract in any way. So again, oh my God, for anybody who even just knows the rudiments of law, it's so easy to expose this as a complete Luciferian fraud. If only you were to open your mind and discern the true power that resides within you, you would see how little difference there is between you and your leaders. What? These leaders are pedophiles. They're Luciferians. They're all bar members. Okay, they've all sworn an oath of loyalty to the Crown Corporation and the Queen of England. They're British agents who are stealing American wealth and transferring it to the Crown Corporation. That's what an attorney is. If you look up the word attorney in Black's Law Dictionary, it's somebody who transfers titles of ownership. That's what it means to attorn, okay? And here's the Illuminati saying that if you just open your mind and you understand the true power that resides within you, you're going to see how there's almost hardly any difference between you and your leaders. So in other words, if the leaders are devils and you're a good person, there's really a universe of difference between you two. It's as widely divergent as the dark from the light, okay? So for them to suggest that there's little difference between you and your leaders, come on, again, anybody with any kind of geopolitical awareness of really seeing, you know, how history works currently and has worked, would reject such a suggestion out of hand as patently false and absurd on its face. Power can be attained by anyone, regardless of their circumstances. It grows one step at a time on a path toward the light, a slow and steady realization of who you are and what you are destined to be. Some may ask, how can every human be a leader when the world requires followers to operate? How can a human who is poor or lacks education ever hope to stand alongside those who have been wealthy or royal since birth? These questions are natural, as again, they were placed in your mind by us. What? Okay. So now, the Illuminati is claiming that they're placing questions in your mind, and that's why they're natural. Because these questions, again, were placed in your mind by us. If power was easy to obtain, it would fall into the hands of those who should not wield it. Isn't that exactly what happens? Don't people, like, you know, sell their souls or make some kind of Faustian diabolical devil's deal, you know, whether it's some promise of wealth or bribery? Yeah, I'll take the bribe and, you know, I'll sign off on this legislation. Or, yeah, I've got the power to pull some strings because I'm in a position of influence. So, yeah, you want me to do this, just, you know, grease my palm a little bit, you know, throw a little something into my bank account, and I got you covered. As if money and power falls into the hands of corrupt people just naturally. Roadblocks are placed in the way of every human as a means to filter out the unready. Trials through poverty, addictions, loss, and hardship exist to test how you will react and if you can be broken enough by temporary discomfort to turn from the light. So again, you know what? When people are going through trial and struggle, like, the idea is to turn to your creator, to your source. You know, the suggestion that, like, these idiots, you know, want you to, like, pray, you know, to the Illuminati, you know, and say, oh, Illuminati, I know you put thoughts in my mind and questions that I have. I know that they're there because you put them there. And I know that these struggles in this maze of life I'm having because you created the maze. But do you understand that this is the height of idolatry? Okay. These people or entities or demons or archons, you know, are claiming that all you have to do in your times of struggle is to simply, you know, pray to them, reach out to them. I'm saying no. Do what you know in your heart of hearts, you know, in your soul of souls. What is the only sane thing to do is to call upon God in your times of trial, because God is kind. God is a friend. God is in you and through you and nearer than your own voice. You know, it's actually laughable to see the Illuminati trying to skim off of God and try to, you know, allocate some of these ineffable qualities and characteristics and you know, apportion them for themselves. It's pretty, you know, it's pretty funny, actually. Funny and tragic at the same time. Hardship is the test of leadership. All who hold power have passed through the sieve of grave hardships and press forward until victorious. Though they may make it appear easy, this is simply due to the great pains they have taken to hide their previous mistakes from their constituents. This system is of our design. Again, whoa, wow, these guys are big system designers, especially for human beings, man. They must be, like, it's really seriously powerful dark magicians, like, you know, like Sauron, you know, who's able to just, like, you know, create new timelines with these godlike powers and affect your destiny. Every human is born with the same ability and promise, but only a handful dedicate their minds to the stalwart determination required to lead the rest of their species. You gotta wonder about people who dedicate their minds to the stalwart determination to lead the rest of their species. Like, I believe that, like, leaders get selected. Okay, like Plato had it right. The idea of the philosopher kings. These people are essentially, like, the most capable individuals to inform social choices and social direction when there's confusion, when the way is not clear, because they've dedicated their lives to the pursuit of philosophy, which is the love of wisdom. Philo means brotherly love. Sophia means wisdom. So it's the love of wisdom. So the idea of the philosopher king is that if you can manage to pull them from a study long enough to say, listen, man, we've got a lot of, you know, corporate social climbers out here that just want to wear, you know, big suits and act bossy and tell people to shut up and sit down, like Chris Christie, or, you know, New Jersey governor, and other people who, you know, these fat, you know, gluttonous, avaricious, greedy individuals, contemptuous and hungry for power and gain. You know, they come a dime a dozen because they're sociopaths. You know, they're the assholes we all remember from high school, the bullies, the jocks, you know, with these huge egos. Now they just, you know, have titles and they work in Congress. In fact, there's 525 of them that needs to be removed from Congress immediately. But But really, if you can pull a philosopher king out of their study long enough to say, listen, you know, you're the only one qualified. Like, you've devoted your whole life to wisdom and to, you know, altruistic inquiry. And we want to call upon your resources because of our faith and our trust in your connection with wisdom and with source. And of course, the philosopher kings, they're always reluctant. They're like, man, you know, I got to get back to my books, got to get back to my private communion with the creator. But yeah, whatever. So what's the problem here? I'll tell you whatever I can. Let's really take a look at it. You know, we want everybody to fare well through this challenge. We want to minimize harm and injury as much as possible. We want to maximize and optimize advantage across the board to everybody involved who's willing to get involved to make it happen. We want to prevent psychopaths and predators from trying to take advantage of moments of vulnerability and make sure we get them put away, you know, in safe places where they can't do harm to others, like prisons or off-planet, you know, penal colonies on the moon, you know, or just march the hate machines into the sun, as the Flaming Lips sing about. But sure, let's just let's figure this out. I'll dedicate a month of my time. I'll go on sabbatical from my studies, you know, and we will figure things out. These are the true leaders, all right? Plato got it. That's why he spoke about the philosopher kings. They're reluctant leaders. Anybody who dedicates their minds to the stalwart determination required to lead the rest of their species panders to ego-driven megalomaniacs with grandiose, you know, overwrought self-concepts, to like true narcissist, sociopath, psychopath predators. Get it? Think. You are not barred from this power. Even those who live under the tyrannical rule of malevolent murderous dictators can simply say they will follow orders no longer. Police and soldiers, captains and generals, all are humans. Peasants are humans, and so are the kings who force them to remain downtrodden. They are the same species. Belief is all that keeps a tyrant in control. Soldiers needn't fight for a regime that does not protect its own people, and yet many do. Countless butchers remain in authority over countless citizens simply because their soldiers are trained to disregard their conscience in favor of someone else's commands. There is no honor in following orders at the expense of one's own people. And like a soldier blinded by patriotism into unquestioning obedience of orders given by a leader he knows to be corrupt, so too does your mind face orders of its own. Your mind is bombarded by messages telling you it is time to give up, to turn from the light, to go back to where it's familiar and comfortable. The strongest wall between you and greatness is the one built in your mind by yourself. No one builds a wall between you and power or wealth. Such a wall would be ineffective. Too many people give up too quickly when their greatest achievements are merely steps ahead, simply because they cannot see how close they are. Though you are destined to become the world's most powerful leader, what? How many people are reading this book? How many people are reading these words and believing that they are destined to become the world's most powerful leader? Okay, let's just say you have 50,000 people currently on the Facebook page who are loving the Illuminati, right? They're swearing loyalty and allegiance. They're, you know, wearing the mark that they paid for, this nice little talisman necklace. And they have the book, which tells them that though you are destined to become the world's most powerful leader, okay, let's just take the 50,000 of them, not the rest that will continue, you know, to buy into the scam. But let's just say now you have 50,000 people who are all vying for supremacy, for this title. You know, you can't have 50,000 of the world's most powerful leader, although you could have a plural of leaders. But this, again, is pure manipulation by appealing to people's ego, okay? And that false promise of like, we believe in you. You know, we're always watching out for you. We guide your life secretly in ways you can't see. You know, it basically spins a narcissistic web of delusion into the mind and psychology of a young, impressionable, suggestible, naive young person who literally believes that they are destined to become the world's most powerful leader. I mean, wouldn't it be horrible to have like 50,000 little Nazis or Hitlers all thinking that, you know, they are representing the Illuminati to the rest of the world? Like, please, this is just ridiculous. Your commands are not obeyed because no one believes they should obey them. Your handful of sand cannot be traded for a home or food because no one believes it has any value. But if you were an inimitable liar, and for generations your ancestors told you the same convincing lie that said you were destined for power, you too would be rich and royal. Okay, yeah, when I read this the other night, this jumped out to me, okay? So are they condoning the idea of being an inimitable liar, which means nobody can imitate the depth of your ability to lie? Like, in other words, your lying is so great, so incredibly clever, so incredibly deft and well-developed as a skill that nobody can even imitate you. So they're saying, if you were such a liar, and for generations your ancestors were, you know, told the same convincing lie to themselves that said that they were destined for power, that you too would be rich and royal. I think there's other ways to experience material abundance without being an inimitable liar. Okay, that's just my 2 cents. Tell your mind this lie every morning and night. Eventually, it will believe you and become your truth. Oh my God. So what they're saying here is that if you want to be rich and royal, then you just tell your mind this lie every morning and night. Eventually, it will believe you and become your truth. So the Illuminati are telling you to tell your mind a lie. Okay, let me repeat that. The Illuminati are telling you to tell your mind a lie. And one more time, if you did not really let it sink in, the Illuminati are telling you to tell your mind a lie every morning and night. Why? Because eventually it will believe you, your mind will believe you, and become your truth. And what is implicit is then you will be rich and royal. Let that sink in for a moment. What is the source of the Illuminati's wealth? Well, in yesterday's video from the book, they said that they're the ones who print print money. So we already know that they're directly connected to the Rothschilds international banking cartel and the Federal Reserve, which prints money, which prints the dollar, which is the you know, primary world trade currency, about to actually implode any day as we speak. Today, I think it's February 21st. 2015, and it's in all the news and all the talk on alternative news sites like GLP, Godlike Productions, which is my personal favorite place to go to look for alternative news. So, okay, let's see, what's the source of the Illuminati's wealth? The Illuminati's financial foundation is built upon liquid assets and various property holdings across the planet. Sounds like the Vatican, which the papal bull of 1213, what is the name of it? The papal bull of 1213, it'll come to me. But anyway, in it, the Pope claims, speaking ex cathedra, which means infallibly as the voice of God, that all of the property of the earth belongs to the Vatican, all the people of the earth belong to the Vatican, all the property of the people of the earth belongs to the Vatican, and all the souls of all the people on earth belongs to the Vatican, which again is not a part of Italy or Rome, but is its own unique nation state. Very similar to 2 other places, which are Washington, D.C. and City of London. So all of these liquid assets and various property holdings across the planet with income derived from multiple other sources are societal replacement of physical currency. Oh, let me jump back a second. So, you know, it's who prints the money? Well, the Rothschilds print the money, but if you go to Rothschilds on Wikipedia, I think you just type in Rothschilds family, you'll see that they are the Vatican bankers. So again, this may all get back to the Vatican, you know, this claim of, you know, printing money and that holding all these property holdings and liquid assets around the planet. So that is a distinct possibility that it goes deeper than simply the Rothschilds, who are the Vatican's bankers. And also in the same article, it said that when they would have meetings throughout the centuries, that other kings from around the world would actually have to get down on their hands and knees and kiss the toe, okay, of the Pope, which is a sign of fealty and submission. But the Rothschilds were never required to do that. Okay, so that says a lot right there, and that is from the Wikipedia article. Our societal replacement of physical currency with numerical-based finance is digital banking, where money is viewed as a number instead of paper or stones, has made unlimited funding available with merely a keyboard. Oh, so it's just crunching numbers, just, putting an entry onto a ledger, just typing in an extra zero, to turn 10,000 to 100,000, or type in 3 more zeros to make it a million, or 3 more zeros to make it a billion, or 3 more zeros to make it a trillion. Hey, at a keystroke, is that really how wealth is generated? What's wrong with this picture? Digital currency, take the mark, the cashless society, new world order. By altering the numbers in bank accounts remotely, we can guarantee any funds required for our work without the risk associated with physical money. So again, you have to think, is it ethical to create something out of nothing, to create fiat money with nothing to back it? Anybody who knows anything about the gold standard or the gold reserve understands that the only lawful and wise way that you can maintain a healthy economy is that if you've got something of real substance to back, whatever kind of medium of exchange you're using, whether it's dollars or rubles or shekels or whatever it may actually be. Without true substance, in holding to back the currency that's out there, it creates a very dangerous scenario for hyperinflation and ultimately for the destruction of an economy completely, which these guys seem to be advocating. So another big red light here. A number of our operations carry no costs due to our unique relationship with government agencies and influential business executives, further reducing our need for financial resources. Oh, really? So unique relationship with government agencies, like what? Like post 9/11 Department of Homeland Security, National Security Agency, Federal Emergency Management Agency, all of these Zionist-controlled, Zionist-run agencies. I wonder if they have a unique relationship with them. And business executives, again, this Princeton last year did a study in 2014 saying that this country, USA, America, is no longer a democracy or a republic, but an oligarchy, the rule of the rich. And that corporatism is essentially the new model for politics and power among nations, and that many corporations have greater wealth and value than than the majority of countries that exist in this world. So again, we have to really strike at the root. We need to dismantle corporations. We need to make absolutely illegal, because it's already unlawful, this whole notion of corporate personhood. The whole reason that this doctrine, this presumption of corporate personhood exists as a legal entity, a fictional legal entity, is for one reason alone. And that's so men can harm others to make wealth without being held personally accountable. That's really what it comes down to. So people can literally make a profit at the expense of creating suffering and harm on other human beings without ever having to be held accountable by the law. This is why we need to eradicate this obnoxious and wicked and unrighteous notion of corporate personhood. It is literally of the devil. It is satanic in the sense of that which is the summation of chaos, and which exists solely to protect wrongdoing and evil so that it can flourish unprohibited. It is satanic in that respect, and we need to invoke the name and mighty power of God, the Creator, to overcome in this day, in this time, this kind of wickedness, because our battle, it's a spiritual battle. It's not against flesh and blood. It's against institutional evil. It's against spiritual forces of wickedness in high places. Okay, this is where we need to go and drive the wooden stake through the heart of this vampiric entity wherever it rears its ugly head. The future of this planet. Ooh, this should be interesting. Chapter 7, the age of war swiftly nears its end, as did bronze, iron, medieval, and modern. Soon the age of Illuminatiam will begin. Ooh, that's a mouthful. Couldn't they have come up with something that rolls off the tongue a little easier than Illuminatiam? Illuminati am. Illumi Illuminatiam. Illuminatiam. Oh, these guys, I mean, #1 rule of marketing, roll out, into the market with a name that's easy to say, right? Is that not the #1 rule? Don't get people caught up in having trouble pronouncing the name of your entity, or else that is essentially the beginning of sorrows. You are among the first of your species to see its light and heed the sounds of its approach. The next age is filled with ideas and advancements never before seen and hardly imagined by even the brightest minds of your civilization. In a future society in which war is obsolete, the human species will be free to develop to its fullest potential. Technological advancements have permeated this timeline of the human species at sporadic times. Recent years have shown a rapid increase in the proliferation of ideas, a sign that humanity is nearing a stage of evolution previously undiscovered. Okay, this sounds like the opening stanza to like these various movements that are, again, like a dime a dozen, whether it's like the Venus Project or the Zeitgeist movement or like New Earth Nation, Ubuntu, a number of great movements out there. I'm not faulting any one of them, but essentially, this is what they're all saying. So this, in other words, this is nothing new here. The Illuminati are just glomming on to popular concepts that are already heralded and championed by other legitimate organizations. For decades, the Illuminati has withheld major technological discoveries and hindered the development of ideas that are the key to your future. Wait a second. They exist for the prosperity of humankind and for the evolution of our species, and yet they claim right here that they have hindered the development of ideas that are key to our future? Why were you a hindrance, guys? If you're here to help, why are you hindering? Can I ask that again, please? If you're here to help, why are you hindering? One more time. If you're here to help, why are you hindering? These have no place in an age of war. Knowledge goes to the highest bidder, and warriors use knowledge to create weapons. But all will change. Soon the technology we have reserved will be made available. Yeah, sure. Set your alarm clock. We've heard this one. Galactic Federation of Light. Yes. We are on the edge of the global announcement. You will see motherships in your skies. Disclosure is imminent. This has been going on for decades. It's like, we're so close, we're going to release it in the next week. Tick tock, tick tock. In fact, something even more appropriate than that. So you say you're going to release it. Okay, this is what it's like. You guys are saying like this. But what really is going on is this. Exactly. And really what you're looking for in the end is this. Right? Okay, enough with that. Wires are an arcane method of transmitting energy and communication. They reside in the physical form, and like all things physical, they decompose and deteriorate. They require resources to establish and more resources to maintain, creating an imbalance of power. Those who build the wires and the tunnels and the towers that carry them control the energy and communication of everyone who walks above and below. Even your leaders are powerless when faced with those who own the wires that carry their commands. In a short time, your scientists will discover an energy source hidden in the air of your planet that has gone undetected for the entirety of your species. Oh, really? Have you ever heard of Walter Russell? Google Walter Russell. Have you ever heard of Nikola Tesla? Wireless transmission of energy. There's lots of people, guys, that know about this technology and that have been suppressed, probably by you. Okay, not that you really exist as you claim, but those who are the ones, trying to maintain their power base and who have suppressed competing technologies. The true robber barons, have suppressed this technology repeatedly throughout history. So your claim that, we're going to discover, as if it's never been discovered, this infinite sea of energy in our atmosphere. We know it exists. This is not news, okay? It hasn't gone undetected for the entirety of our species. Many civilizations in the past have tapped into it. Many intuitives get direct revelations from Mother Earth and from Father God, you know, as if you guys, you know, are like the thought leaders in all of this. Ridiculous. This discovery will send a tremor through societies that are built upon the need to survive. When energy and communication are easily available to all and in unlimited supply, the world can function without the need for one country to invade another simply to fill the needs of its people. New methods of food and water production have been experimented and proven successful. Free-flowing energy allows for devices to perfect the conditions of plants and creatures to their utmost performance, leaving nothing to waste and creating plenty for all without the need for harmful chemicals. Devices to alter the weather of this planet. Oh wait. Do you mean cloud seeding, geoengineering, chemtrails, this aerosol spraying from these planes of these these toxic heavy metals like barium and aluminum? Supposedly this is Monsanto with a global program to release aluminum into the atmosphere to settle into the soil, so that the only plants that will grow in the future will be the plants that grow from Monsanto's patented aluminum resistant Terminator seeds that only grow for one season. Okay, devices to alter the weather of this planet have already been developed. When every space of your planet can be atmospherically altered to maintain the highest quality of life, I'm sorry, but Mother Earth doesn't need your help, okay? This whole tendency to alter, okay, this transhumanistic, you know, impulse, it's satanic, it's Luciferian. It basically says nature is not good enough, that the intelligence of nature, we need to correct it and create like these bizarre monstrosities of genetic, you know, manipulation and, you know, that result in all sorts of new diseases and deformations. It's ridiculous. Nature is informed by the intelligence of the Creator. You cannot separate Mother Earth and Father God. They're wedded like husband and wife. It's a perfect pairing of polarity. They're intertwined. Nature is as much a part of God as God is a part of nature. And you do not fuck with Mother Nature or Father God. Do you guys get it? Transhumanism is ultimate rebellion against the Creator and against Mother Earth. So no, this idea that the planet being atmospherically altered to maintain the highest quality of life, you know, I'm more inclined to think that this is part of your massive soft genocide program to reduce the global population, which, by the way, this planet is not overpopulated at 7 billion people. Everybody on this planet, 7 billion people, could live in New Zealand with less of a population density of Manhattan, New York. Okay, chomp on that one for a while. Overpopulation is a new world order globalist myth, okay, that is drilled into your head through all of the mainstream media outlets. It's all propaganda, so that you guys don't bat an eyelash when you see these genocidal programs going on, because deep inside you're saying, well, we know that this is about killing loads of people, but you know what, they'll come down with diseases, and because their immune systems have been compromised, they'll just like succumb to cancers and nobody will really know what's going on. And my goodness, the earth is so overpopulated that, you know what, I'm not going to say anything, you know, I'll just sit by silently and let it happen and act like I'm not complicit in a massive genocide, having advanced foreknowledge and, you know, not raising my voice to oppose it in any way, because, you know, God won't hold me accountable. And, you know, I don't care that Martin Luther King said that to remain silent when they ought to speak out makes cowards of people. You know, I'm just going to enjoy my food here and my large screen TV and play my video games and you know, hopefully get some status symbols and climb a couple rungs up the social status ladder until I die, and then hopefully God will, you know, forgive me and blah blah blah. Stop. Your species is under direct assault, and a mass genocide program is underway via vaccinations, genetically modified organisms, chemtrailing, along with a number of other methods to reduce the global population of 7 billion people down to an more easily manageable slave population of 500 million people, as is suggested on the Georgia Guidestones. Google that, Georgia Guidestones, okay? It's basically the goals of the New World Order, the Rothschilds, Rockefeller, 13 bloodline families, their goals to be accomplished, one of which is to balance, to attain ecological balance by reducing the population to 500 million people, except they never, get into the gory details of how they actually do that. But it actually means killing, murdering 6.5 million people. And I know that's 6.5 billion people. And I know that's incomprehensible to a lot of you because, like Joe Stalin, he's directly responsible for the deaths of about 15 million Russians during the Bolshevik Revolution. He famously said, a single murder is a tragedy, but a million murders is a statistic. So you sit there because your mind can't conceive of the thought of millions of people being murdered, because the outrage that would spark in your soul, you wouldn't be willing to carry it. You wouldn't be willing to speak up because you're too weak. You're too cowardly. You think that you're nothing, that you're just a floor mat, and that, anybody can just rape you and rob you and walk all over you. You won't speak up for your species because you're a pitiful coward, and you'll sit there and you'll just let it happen without a peep, and you'll turn your head away and you won't look at shit when it's going on. All right, because, your TV show's on, your show's on, and dinner's in the oven, and I got to get to work tomorrow morning, so I got to get to sleep soon, and I can't be bothered with all this stuff because I'm just trying to make ends meet, from paycheck to paycheck. No! You are responsible. You are your brother's keeper. You're not in this alone. You are the eyes of the world. Those 6.5 billion other people, that's you. That's another version of yourself. Get it? Think on that. What will you do? Devices to alter the weather of this planet have already been developed. When every space of your planet can be atmospherically altered to maintain the highest quality of life, there will be room for all people to live and thrive. Wastelands will become paradises, allowing for every human to occupy miles of the planet and for the nurturing of crops where nothing has grown before. The earliest developments in digitally printed materials have already begun in your societies. As these technologies advance, homes will be constructed in minutes instead of months, and new limbs or organs will be grown to repair or replace those that are faulty. Tiring work can be done by advanced machines that need no rest. Without the need for labor, humans will dedicate their minds to the collective advancement of their species. These times approach, but have not yet arrived. Humans are creatures who have not yet mastered their impulses. The instinct to harm another of its own kind is one that the human species is never born with, but only learns from those around it. War is a liar who claims there isn't enough land, isn't enough wealth, isn't enough food for all people in all places to live in abundance. The planet you live upon is the same rock that will carry life into the greatness promised by the future. Humans choose to remain in the age of war because they know no different than to fight and kill for their survival in the eternal competition for resources required to remain alive. Value is created in scarcity. Diamonds are only cherished because of their rarity, as are food and water in impoverished societies. If diamonds rained from the sky instead of water drops, they would be worthless. But in every age of Illuminatiam, with no scarcity of energy or food or water or anything that a human requires to thrive, there will be no needing for hoarding or stealing. Country lines, allegiances, and borders will become obsolete. Oop, one world government, right? We are the world. We are the children. Yeah, I'll sign right on to that, right? Even though you've had warnings your whole life that when you see these things come to pass, Be aware, for your time draweth nigh. The urge for war will be eradicated. This is great. Again, everybody wants peace. Everybody says no war. I mean, John Lennon, give peace a chance. The Beatles, the 60s, all of these social movements that we've had, we all want peace and no war. But again, don't be so easily led astray by entities that are dubious, that are, making, who are making demonstrable lies and offering them to you for your consumption, while at the same time making these, these promises. Again, it's a form of manipulation. They're basically saying, we can do this, we're going to do this. They're appealing to that part of our humanity that wants this more than anything else. We want peace. Can't we just all get along? Can't we just stop the fighting? So again, this is a form of propaganda. It can't be all obvious deception. It can't be all obvious offensive and obnoxious policies. You have to, pepper the negative stuff in. Hopefully people won't detect it, but you need to pepper it in amongst an otherwise extremely provocative and compelling promise for future, benefits and for future prosperity. These new circumstances will usher in a world where all may be wealthy and coexist in a peace of abundance, while your leaders turn their focus to the true advancement of your species as a whole. Fear not for your war-stricken, poverty-ridden planet. Do not quarrel amongst yourselves over trivial political or religious labels and names, for these will vanish and bear no influence in the coming age. How are you going to enforce that? How will they vanish and bear no influence? Through legislation, like trying to legislate your morality? I think you're going to find it's very difficult to deprive people from their fundamental spiritual viewpoints, even if they're traditional. The thought that you can eradicate religion is actually freaking Nazi of the worst order, because I've seen enough people on the internet who have suggested that they just love to see all religious people get destroyed. And these are people who probably have never even read a religious book in their life. They just believe propaganda, and they think that, they're looking for somebody to blame all the world's problems on. Well, there's a huge segment of people who want to blame all the world's problems on religious people. So what if there's this awesome Luciferian New World Order and everybody received the mark and all these promises of like big green plateaus of prosperity and fruits and vegetables like the Garden of Eden, and everything's going to be great, but we can't have any of that stuff till we deal with these damn religious people. So basically, yeah, what we're going to do is like, we're going to pass legislation, like anybody who's like religious, and part of like any traditional religion or anything, like we're just going to round them up, and we're going to put them into like a training compartment, and we're going to put them into like these, into these determined camps, where they won't mess around and kill everybody with their crazy freaking religions, man. More people have died in the name of religion, blah, blah, blah. And again, this is all coming from people who've like never even read a religious book in their life. It's amazing to me how many people criticize religion, and yet they've never read a religious book. Think of how many people criticize Christianity, and they've never even read the New Testament. All right? I've read all the religious books. I'm currently reading the Quran because I want to understand Islam. I want to go right to the source of how that religion is informed from its authoritative source, which is the book called the Quran. And it's quite an illuminating experience for me. I've got a lot of criticisms of that book, as I do about this book. But what I'm trying to say here is that this notion that people just quarrel over trivial political or religious labels as if they're just trivial. I mean, some people, yes, argue trivial stuff, but also, some religions, I'm thinking of Babylonian Talmudism, basically the religion that embraces the Talmud. It teaches racial supremacy. So it's really important to understand specifically what religions teach, what their books teach. Okay, there's no reason to throw out in other words, there's no reason to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Okay, a lot of good can come from spirituality and religions that teach kindness and compassion, and to reduce suffering in this world and becoming active in social ways to meet the needs of those who are in need. Okay, some of the greatest advances in civilization have been directly resulting from the impact of religion. Hospitals, and nursing as institutions really had their beginnings from inspired by the Christian religion. So you can't just suggest that anybody arguing over politics or religion, it's all trivial and that these will vanish and bear no influence in the coming age. Again, how are you going to do that? Through legislation? How are you going to shut people up from talking about the faith of their fathers and the convictions that are part of their genetic imprint and their race memory in their blood and in their DNA? Again, it's a lie. These will not vanish and bear no influence. They may become marginalized by a greater revelation of truth, okay? Because the whole point is that in the arena of ideas, may the best ideas win. So in other words, you invite everybody to come to compete. Everybody should have a chance to have the floor and to state their claim. And let's let the court of public opinion decide what is, best, for individuals. And religion and politics is an individual choice. You cannot legislate morality or politics, or else essentially what you have is a dictatorship. There's no longer, freedom of expression and freedom of speech and free thought. Essentially you're being told what you can believe and what you can't believe. And if you don't follow the law, you're going to be persecuted. So again, this sounds like this archetypal, satanic or Luciferian New World Order. Fear nothing that lies ahead, nor the bursting sounds that echo across your red horizons. This is a sign that help is on the way. Okay. The bursting sounds and the rocket's red glare. The bombs bursting in air. Okay, so are you guys saying that the bursting sounds of war that echo across our red horizons, lit up by the flashing of fire at night, this is a sign that help is on the way? I don't think so. This would be a sign that there's actually massive conflict and that we need help, okay? And we're not going to wait for some kind of dubious ephemeral figures hiding, behind the cover of anonymity, coming to our rescue, to our communities and towns. No, we the people will take care of ourselves. We the sovereigns will take care of ourselves. We are sovereign individuals. We are sovereign communities. We are sovereign states. Thank you very much. We don't need your help because you wouldn't bring it anyway. You're all about manipulation and lies. Does the Illuminati worship God or Satan? The Illuminati has no association with any religious worship or belief. Any connections between our organization and another is purely rumor. Members of the Illuminati are free to follow any religious faith they choose as long as such belief does not conflict with the preservation of the human species. That sounds like basic Freemasonic thought. They say you can believe any religion, and still be a Mason. The God conundrum. Plagues have ravaged towns and villages. Fire and molten rock have swept like waves over cities and buildings. Floodwaters have drowned families by the hundreds of thousands, but even these, in all their destructive glory, have failed to end as many lives as those taken in the name of a god. Wow, that's quite a claim. I don't know if that's necessarily true. And anybody who justifies in their mind that they can take another life in the name of God is basically demon-possessed. Yes, demon-possessed. Any human being who can tell themselves such a whopper of a lie to hold the truth in suppression because it always bears witness in their own conscience, which is the voice of God in the soul. And that it's always bearing witness from their heart, because on the deepest level, we know that our neighbor is just another reflection of us, okay? So anybody who has taken a life in the name of God is literally insane or demon-possessed and have told themselves such a whopper of a lie and have bought it hook, line, and sinker that they've justified it. I mean, you can read about this. Just read about the Roman Catholic Church and, how, for instance, that the Roman Inquisition was invented to deal with the Cathars, okay? An offshoot of the Christian faith of truly righteous souls, who were so compelling in their kindness and in the absolute love and spiritual illumination that they brought into the, into their own lives, into their communities, that there were massive defections from the Roman Catholic Church, as many of the monasteries and nunneries, all of the Catholic clerics were converting into Catholicism. And Catholicism is regarded in history as not just a heresy, but the great heresy. In fact, it's the very reason that the Inquisitions were created. Okay, the Inquisitions were basically created so that the Roman Catholic Church created a justification for sending armies into regions where Catholicism had basically set the minds and the hearts of the people on fire for love and for the Creator. And they went in there and identified, the defectors, those who they called heretics, and burned them alive. Yeah, they just tortured them. They got confessions from them, threatened everybody else. They made it really clear. They're like the ultimate mafia, that if we ever find out that you tried to hide information from us about these Cathars, we're going to come back, take all your property, kill your children and your family in front of your face, and then we're going to kill you. So it's like the ultimate mafioso. And so, yes, lots of people have killed in the name of God, but remember, wherever it's happened, it's been committed by people whose consciousness has been completely archontized. Okay, the influence of the archons, the demons, the fallen, have completely gained control of a person's consciousness, that they are able to justify an action of taking another life, which again is a form of deicide, of killing God, because God dwells as the super soul in the heart of every living entity and is part and parcel of our constituency as a human entity. So whoever kills a person kills God. Okay, so again, keep that in mind. Spirituality is one of the human species' greatest mysteries. In the majority of cases, a human relies upon physical evidence to prove or change a belief that exists in their subconscious. A person will smell an item of food to prove if they will enjoy it, or look at a fire to prove if it is burning. If a person believes that a pool of water is cold, they will touch it with the hand to prove their belief, or to change their belief if the water turns out to be warm. However, the belief in a power greater than human understanding relies entirely on invisible mental verification, referred to as faith. Faith is the belief in something that cannot be proven. Most religious belief is based upon information received from an outside source that cannot be verified, sometimes known as hearsay. The other thing is, it can be known as subjective spiritual or religious experience. So the whole point is that somebody makes a claim that I have a relationship with God, or I've had an experience with God, or such and such happened to me that made me a true believer in something that is higher or greater than myself, something that is not verifiable by the five senses, but by my intuition, by my powers of observation, by the powers of my rational thought. It has made itself known within my own consciousness. Now that is a subjective claim. It is not objective. It cannot be empirically verified or proven in either a court of law or in a scientific lab. That is the nature of faith, okay? God deals with each one of us on a completely spiritual, subjective, intuitive level, okay? Even though we're surrounded by massive witness of incredibly complex, intelligent design and the ordering and arranging of things in such a superior way that, all of creation sings, hallelujah choruses, if only we had the ears to hear. But we block the consciousness of God out from our minds, because God demands that we live holy and righteous lives of love, where we consider others as we consider ourselves, that we love our neighbors as ourselves. And most people are too selfish to do that. They don't want to. They'd rather be like little, belligerent children, little petulant children who, gather up their toys because, as children say, it's mines, right? And you gather up like a little golem, my precious, don't take it away, and because some people choose to live this way, they don't want to acknowledge the massive moral force that bears witness in their own conscience as the voice of God in the soul saying, you must not be selfish, you must share. You must consider others on the same footing as yourself. Their lives matter, as does yours, okay? This is the voice of reason, okay, which is the voice of God in the soul as well. So it's not just hearsay, but it's the idea of subjective belief, and that nobody can contest a claim that is based in a subjective experience. All you can ultimately do is say maybe so or maybe not. So if somebody comes to you and said, listen, I had an incredible experience. I smoked DMT. I went to another dimension. God revealed God's self to me and showed me that I'm loved and showed me, that I am cherished and gave me hope. And you're listening to this, you're saying, well, there's no way that this person, like, they're just making a claim, but they seem to be passionate. They seem to be bearing witness to something they believe to be true. So in other words, it's a subjective experience that they had. And who am I to sit there and try to tell that person that they did not have this experience? I mean, that would be just as ridiculous as them trying to impose their belief on everybody else. They could sit there and bear witness to their subjective experience, but I have no standing whatsoever to call into question somebody's subjective experience. That's the whole nature of subjective experience. It's beyond verification outside of the individual who experienced it subjectively. Get it? This is what faith is. Millions will follow the commandments of a religious text without ever having spoken to its author, and billions will believe in a deity because of miracles they were told of by someone who wasn't even present nor alive at the time. But denouncing faith is true folly. Faith is not limited to religious believers. While even the most devout pontiff cannot provide irrefutable evidence of his God's existence, neither can the scientist who claims that no deity resides in the universe. Both rely upon their own faith to explain things they will never understand. There is no proof of God, there is no proof of no God either. If science cannot definitively prove that there is no God, then science has no choice but to accept a possibility of God's existence. Those who refuse their fallibility are blinded by the glare of their own pride. Many humans stare at the path of life with blinders covering the sides of their eyes, facing forward, choosing to ignore any possibility that they are traveling toward the edge of a cliff. But the true believers question every aspect of their faith, forcing themselves to find answers instead of simply following the lead of others. The deepest doubt builds the strongest faith. The Illuminati's religious foundation is based upon this universal conundrum of faith and doubt. We do not question whether a God does or does not exist, but rather focus on the betterment of the human people living on this planet. For if a God does exist, then surely its power has allowed the Illuminati to continue our operations, and we have survived centuries of time through its approval. Our decisions are made by the study of data and evidence, factors that can be easily altered by an omniscient creature in order to guide our actions and the future of mankind. If no God exists, our actions still benefit the human species as a biological whole. If a God does exist, then our work for the betterment of all creation will be pleasing to its creator. Be wary of evils committed in our name. So let's back up here. So in other words, this is kind of a safe place to be, the Illuminati figures, which is that, you know what, we're not going to get into this debate. You can't prove it either way. We're not making any claims. If God does exist, then obviously God must like us because he's allowed us to continue this point. I would say that that is a dubious claim. There's a lot of psychopaths out there, child rapers, child killers, people who do horrible shit over a long period of time, and even institutional evil. Is this proof that God's blessing is upon these endeavors and individuals because he permits it to continue to exist? In fact, this reminded me of a great meme I saw on social media. It's a picture of Jesus sitting down next to this young man on a park bench. The young man says to Jesus, God, why, if you are good and all-powerful, would you allow so much suffering on this planet? Like, why don't you stop all the wars on this planet? Why don't you stop all diseases? Why don't you stop all suffering? Like, how could you possibly sit there and do nothing? Jesus pauses, nods his head, says to the kid, that's funny because I was going to ask you the exact same question. So again, simply because evil goes on unchallenged, uncontested, and unrestrained is not any kind of proof that God is kosher with it. That God's cool with it. Okay, so you cannot make that claim for yourself, Illuminati. Sorry, it's not the way it works. And then what's the other claim here? Okay, so let's just continue on. For decades, a multitude of individuals have operated under the name of the Illuminati, some for good, but many more for their own profit. Their deceit clouds public perception of our organization, causing many citizens to believe that wrongdoings are committed by our command. Choose carefully where you place your belief. Be wary of anyone who claims to represent the Illuminati, but whose actions go against our core beliefs. These are merely imposters seeking to confuse you. For anyone to claim that the Illuminati is affiliated with a religious belief, be it God or Satan, Baphomet or Baal, undermines the very purpose of our independence from human divisions. We neither accept nor deny any deity and hold none to be higher than any other. Well, this is a very safe legal place to be when somebody who's being accused of a crime says, we neither can affirm or deny the allegations at this point. It sounds just like OJ during the trial saying, I categorically deny blah blah blah. In fact, it's gotten to the point where whenever I hear somebody say that they categorically deny anything, it sounds so unnatural that it's like I think, oh, obviously you're lying and you actually did the very thing that you're denying, because people who are at ease and natural and confident in their right standing don't say things like, I categorically deny blah, blah, blah. So this idea that we neither accept nor deny any deity does not really give you any merit, because if God is the creator and that we exist to be in relationship with the creator, we should make it our life's purpose to seek to deepen our relationship with the creator. In the best way that we can understand, to become a friend of God and friends of one another, to live agnostically or atheistically puts human need and materialistic gain at the kind of height of that which all should aspire to. But when we, place God at the very top of that, the very reason for our existence is to enjoy a love relationship with the beloved. Read the poetry of Rumi and Hafiz, these Persian poets whose beautiful verse is all about divine relationship with God, spoken in language, almost romantic love. They speak of God as the beloved, and everything that you experience is a gift of the creator, and God wants you to enjoy it all. But God, in any right relation, if we just took gifts from people and never thanked them and never wrote thank you cards and didn't even acknowledge the gift givers, we'd be like, little selfish children, right? And the gifts would stop coming because we don't have to show gratitude. Or, what if our grandmother every year brought us a gift and put it into our hands, and rather than saying thank you, Grandma, we just turned our back on Grandma and we're like, thank you, universe, for this gift. Our grandma would be like, what? I gave you that gift. It's like, come on. Would you just please acknowledge that, your creator loves you and wants to be in relationship with you? If only you would believe that the creator is kind and loving and accepting and wants right relationships, wants right relations with you. So yeah, it's no claim to any kind of merit to say, we neither can confirm or deny that there's a God. It's like, you guys are missing the boat. There's something greater. There's literally something better there for you. And this is what we're trying to direct people towards. We operate solely for the benefit of the human species we have been entrusted to protect. There is no reason for our organization to swear fealty to any deity, because we operate independently of all that separates and divides the people we govern. Even more heinous rumors have been attributed to our organization, including human sacrifices and violent rituals. While our individual members are allowed to serve any deity they choose, the Illuminati as a whole is only dedicated to the preservation of the human species. Therefore, human sacrifices or any practice that does not serve the betterment of mankind would counter everything we represent and are thus prohibited in all circumstances. While many have attributed such actions to our members, such connections are false. Well, this sounds like the public persona, like the public face of the Church of Satan, started by Anton LaVey in Los Angeles. They worship Satan. Christian churches worship Christ, and the Satanic Church worships Satan. And you can hear all sorts of stories from people who have been involved with Satanism to find out what really goes on. But of course, if you go to their website, they literally sound like, the Ladies Baking Guild or something, in terms of how innocuous and entirely entirely safe they are. They disavow any true belief in a deity or any kind of being named Lucifer, and really what they believe is just, do as thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, parodying Crowley's maxim, which essentially is unbridled selfishness. Whatever you want, that's what you can do, and you can do it without any fear of repercussions, sanctions, or any kind of penalties. In other words, if it feels good, do it, which is the cornerstone of hedonism as a philosophy, is simply chasing after pleasure and sensory gratification and material gain. But of course, as spiritual beings having a human experience, we understand that we are created for more than just the endless pursuit of material gain and sensual gratification. If you are willing to sell your soul is not yet worth enough to sell. There is no requirement to sell one's soul to join our organization, as if such a thing were even possible. Anyone offering to trade their soul to us is not ready for membership. So yes, again, nobody's going to roll out a scroll and ask you to sign in your own blood, this kind of thing. But it is about contracts. It's about consent. It's about jurisdiction. Anytime you make an agreement, when somebody makes an offer to you, like, hey, just swear loyalty to our organization, they're making a contractual offer with you, okay? And now you get to choose of your own volition, I accept that offer or I reject that offer. When you say, okay, yeah, I can swear loyalty to your organization, you've just established a contract. So in a sense, it is about selling your soul, because you've granted consent on a level of your consciousness, and it's about jurisdiction. Until that joinder, in legal terms, it's called establishing joinder, okay? And it's when you join together under one jurisdiction. So before the contract is perfected, okay, you can look at it as two jurisdictions. You've got your own jurisdiction of, sovereign status, jurisdiction, that you are your own master, that there are no masters above you. And now the Illuminati want to be your masters, and they say, listen, we will confer certain benefits upon you, we'll watch over you, we'll protect you, we'll flow good things into your life, simply swear loyalty to us. And that's a bargain, okay? And you can consider it, you can weigh and say, okay, well, all I have to do is swear my loyalty, and they're promising that they will give me A, B, and C. Well, if you accept that offer, that's a deal that you just made. And at that point, you create joinder, because you accept the terms of the contract. You accept the agreement. It's like you're shaking hands on it. And now you have entered into their jurisdiction. So in a sense, you consciously, voluntarily, and willingly said, you know what? I'm no longer going to exist in my own sovereign, status jurisdiction. I'm now going to agree to enter into the jurisdiction of this entity, which is promising to confer certain benefits based upon the proposal or offer that they've made. So I willingly, voluntarily, of my own consent, free will choice, enter into contract with this entity. So you can see that simply by agreeing to go along with somebody's suggestion is a formal way of perfecting and establishing joinder and creating a contract, okay? And this is why, when you go into the occult literature, even people who watch like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they cannot get involved with your life until you say yes. In other words, you have to open the door. They can knock, 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 but they can't force their way in. But if you open the door, if you nod your head up and down and say yes, if you grant your consent, that's all they need to rush in and claim the territory. Miracles, witchcraft, and the belief in unseen powers that can alter the physical world have some basis in truth. We have confirmed the existence of unseen powers on this planet, though these energies emanate from the minds of each human in the form of invisible waves powered by the subconscious. For centuries, many paranormal occurrences have been attributed to the supernatural. Closer study reveals that the human mind contains energies that have not yet been discovered by traditional science and have been decried in modern-day society. This skepticism is needed. If all people knew of the power living inside themselves, havoc would befall a population that has not yet been prepared for such a responsibility. Do not concern yourself with questions that cannot be proven. Must a God exist for you to do what is right? Would an all-intelligent, all-knowing, all-powerful God have any care for the name used in its worship? Would a God command the harm of another when its justice can be served without your aid? Simply do what is right and good for the benefit of your species, and whatever higher power exists will reward you for your stewardship. When measuring the eternal vastness of the universe, there is a mathematical probability that a being exists that is more intelligent than us, who sees what we do, and whose powers we can never understand. Whatever name this being is called, we are its servants, and will hail it as our highest king. Must I sacrifice a human or animal to join the Illuminati? The Illuminati's purpose is the preservation of the human species. Therefore, human sacrifices or any practice that does not serve the betterment of mankind would counter everything we represent and are thus prohibited in all circumstances. While many have attributed such actions to our members, these connections are baseless. How to join the Illuminati. 9. The Illuminati is a collective of prominent figures throughout the world who have united to guard the human species from extinction. Our members bear the burden of a planet's leadership with the lives of over 7 billion in their hands. As the human continues to rise above its other animal counterparts, governing of the planet has turned into a daunting task. For this reason, the Illuminati continually seeks to add new members to our governing ranks. Screech, halt, stop. How about enlightened self-government? How about as a species we decide to evolve past the state of infancy, childhood, or even adolescence to come into full age and claim full responsibility for our lives so that we can freely associate with others in our own communities, and we can govern on the community level, on the local level, by the choice and dictates of our own consciousness as best suits us and as behooves us based upon our culture, our heritage, our tradition, our region, and many other cultural factors. We do not want a central governing authority dictating to the rest of humanity the way things are going to be. This is the very essence of tyranny and dictatorship, okay? We do not consent, and we choose not to associate with any central governing authorities. In recent years, our council approved memberships of the first technology pioneers. We have also expanded to include many with influence over emerging entertainment platforms who can ensure our messages are disseminated to all people in all places of the world. And of course, they're playing off of all of this buzz, especially in the world of hip hop, how Jay-Z and Beyonce and all of these people, blah, blah, flashing up like that little, putting their eye looking through the triangle, everybody's Illuminati, all of this gossip, all this rumors. It's just all a bunch of horseshit designed to just stimulate gossip, essentially, and buzz, and endless speculation, which can never be verified. But of course, the people behind this book are using it in a sense as confirmation bias of and all of this stuff that you see going on, in the entertainment platforms, all these people just in a sense are under our control, and they ensure that our messages are being disseminated, through popular music and through music videos and through award ceremonies and blah, blah, blah. This is all us. This is how powerful we are. Our organization separates individuals of outstanding political, financial, or cultural influence from the rest of the flock and establishes them as shepherds of the human species. We see and know all just as a shepherd sees and knows all of the flock, our eyes peering over the masses to identify any threat to those we protect. So again, this idea that their eyes roam to and fro over all the earth, seeking to strongly support those whose hearts are completely devoted to the Illuminati, but also looking out for any threats to those who they protect. So again, this promise of Big Brother's always watching and has got your back. Just swear your loyalty to the Illuminati. Maybe you have met one of our members in the flesh, or perhaps not. Many of us have no public profile and value anonymity. In return for their loyalty, our members are presented a life of limitless wealth and opportunity. Are removed, so our members are free to perform their duties to the highest level of effectiveness without earthly distractions. Though all members enjoy the same benefits, the dedication and commitments required to make decisions that affect the world are reserved by our executive council members who meet in the White Room periodically throughout a calendar year. Every year, all ranking members may vote on decisions at the annual Illuminatios conference. For a member, the requirements are unimposing and often spaced between many years. Directives given to members are authored by the Executive Council. Our requests are simple and therefore may be hard to comprehend, but disloyalty is not tolerated. Oh my God. Disloyalty is not tolerated. So in other words, whatever they want to claim they feel is your disloyalty means that they can turn on a dime, toss you out on your ass, you know, throw you under the bus. You know what I mean? Like, these people are basically demanding, like, you know, unrestricted loyalty, you know, like complete faith and trust, implicit, okay, without reservation. There's demons out there that feed on this energy, okay? All they want is allegiance. They just want fealty. You know, it's about expanding their jurisdictional claim over another soul and another soul. And now they have gained joinder, so they can tap into you, you know, with astral, you know, siphoning to draw off of your loosh or your life force because you've agreed to be a host for their parasitism, okay? That's really what's going on here. Members must fulfill their oaths to the Illuminati under every circumstance and recognize that they are merely one part of a much larger universal design. Okay, again, this, you know, it's like the mafia. You know, once you're in, you're never free to go, baby. It's like you're either all in or you're all out. You know, with like the concrete shoes over the edge of the boat, sunk to the bottom of the Hudson River. Members must fulfill their oaths to the Illuminati under every circumstance. Again, disloyalty is not tolerated. Members must fulfill their oaths to the Illuminati under every circumstance. Okay, that was a little bit delayed, but hope you got that. I thought it was pretty funny. Moving on, perhaps you've already proven yourself successful in your field of work or study. For that, the Illuminati congratulates you. Your dedication gives hope to us for the future of this planet, and it is for you that we continue to focus our interests on the betterment of the human species. Membership in the Illuminati is by invitation only. To join us, simply continue on the road you currently travel. So again, keep this by invitation only. I do believe that you're able to go right onto their website. Let's just take a look here. Let's go to the Illuminati website, and it says, join the Illuminati. So let's see. They're claiming that you can only be invited, but if you go to their join the Illuminati, to receive messages from the Illuminati or apply for membership, you must confirm your information via the form below. Okay, so yes, they're maintaining the semblance that you must be invited, which is a total marketing scam. I guarantee you that they're not going to turn you down. They just want you to think that, you know, that you're in a position of begging and pleading because that gives them power over you. You're saying, oh, please, I'm hoping I'll get an invitation. I will send you, you know, what do they require? Not an essay, not some kind of resume where they can make a truly informed choice about whether you are of the, you know, intellectual caliber or have the, you know, developed character that they're looking for. They simply, you know, it's a marketing ploy. They want to put you in a position of pleading, okay, because that gives them power as masters over you and puts you into a servile state of essentially begging. But I guarantee you that you've put in your email here, your first name and your last name, and you submit your request. So in other words, there's no criteria for their decision. So a complete contradiction. On the one hand, they say membership in the Illuminati is by invitation only. But how does the invitation come? Well, you just go to the website and you click on join the Illuminati, and all they want is your email address and your name. Wow, that's very, very low bar. You know, it's a very, very low price of admission, very low bar for entry. I would think twice. I think that, you know, Ivy League colleges, you know, prestigious universities have a higher bar than the Illuminati to invite people, you know, into those prestigious institutions. So again, you know, you have to wonder, is this whole scam Who's behind it? Liars, lunatics, Luciferians, or the Illuminati? To join us, simply continue on the road you currently travel. In studying the words of this testament, again, using a word like testament because it gives them, again, false power because people associate the New Testament or the Old Testament. And so, again, it's kind of like glomming on and riding the coattails of pre-existing, books and in a sense, co-opting the force, authority, and power of those other books like the Old Testament or New Testament simply by calling your book a testament, okay? So it's a scam. In studying the words of this testament and the others that follow it, you have already set yourself apart from the millions who still linger in the dark. Again, the idea that you are the one, you can see, everybody else is blind, they're all sheeple, but you've been illuminated. You are the one, Neo. Come join us, be one of the chosen few, be one of the remnant. Okay, you have been led to the path and you have chosen to follow it by your own free will. New technological advancements have aided our council in identifying citizens to investigate for ranking membership. If you believe that you have been set apart from all other humans and that you are meant to become a shepherd of your species, you are invited to submit an application for our review. From anywhere on the planet, begin by opening an internet browser and navigating to this address, Illuminati.am. Join. Let's see if that's where we were. Illuminati. Let's go here. .am/join. Let's see where that takes us here. Oh, what did I do here? Oh, I see what I did. Okay, Illuminati.am join. Okay, join the Illuminati official members list. Okay, we've got the official members list. I wonder if it's public. Oh, okay, same place where we saw before. So, there's no option to offer an application or to write an essay. Again, like they just said in the book, that if you believe that you've been set apart, again, you're special, you're different from all the others, and that you're meant to become a shepherd of your species. Like, who really wants to lead the rest of the species? 50,000 people can't all be the shepherd of the species, can they? You're invited to submit an application for our review, and yet there's no place. And I went to the website and this is where they brought us again. It's just two different web addresses, but this is the landing page, and there's no place to submit an essay whatsoever. So again, they're not even consistent with rolling out this ridiculous marketing scam, which is really beginning to look like exactly what it is. And again, this is really the Illuminati, and they have access to all of these electronic communications and every single email they read and are aware of. They should easily be able to pick up this video and have it deleted, because I'm basically calling them out. I'm contesting their claims of authority and influence, and I'm essentially exposing them as liars, lunatics, and frauds, possibly Luciferians, but definitely not the Illuminati. So let's see if they have the power, the wherewithal, the reach, the technology to delete all copies of this video. Okay, I put that out there as an open challenge to these players, man, to these posers, whoever they are. Back to the book here. This form will add you to our list of potential candidates for Illuminati membership, and you will be contacted if we require more information. Again, they get back to every single person. You know what? Because they want you to buy their necklace, okay? They want you to pay to receive the mark. They call it the mark. Also, the Illuminati talisman, okay? I guarantee you that if you put your name and email address in here, you will get a response. They don't vet or cull through the applicants. Again, they want to create the illusion that you will be selected, chosen, because you are of a superior breed. It plays again into the psychology of egoism and self-importance and, overinflated, grandiose self-concepts. The form will add you to our list of potential candidates for Illuminati membership. You will be contacted if we require more information. But understand the true responsibility of what you are undertaking. Once a ranking member, you can never renounce your loyalty, nor can you abandon the responsibilities you will vow to your species. Now, this is what they call having lifelong customers, okay? This is what all brands pay millions of dollars to do, is to establish a customer base and relationship where they have lifelong customers who will be, essentially paying into the brand for the rest of their lives, okay? So this is their way of doing it, of saying that if you are selected to be a member of the Illuminati, they want to make it clear to you that you can never renounce your loyalty. You can never say, you know what, I think these guys are scammers. Like, I did everything they said, and there's no merit to their promises, because they said, if I do A, then B will happen. I did A, B never happened. So they're making false claims, false allegations. And meanwhile, I feel threatened because they're claiming that I must never renounce my loyalty and that I can never abandon responsibilities that I vow to my species or to the Illuminati. So again, just pure marketing scam. It's so easy to see. Even if you join our executive council, you will never be thanked in any book of history, though your name will be etched upon the floor of the White Room for eternal adoration. Yes, as like the boots of dictators and tyrants, just like, walk all over your name on the floor. Is that really how you want to be remembered? Is, your name is etched into the floor and like, everybody just like walks all over your name? That's stupid. Why didn't they etch the name on the wall where people can actually like walk up to it and say, oh, look at this name, look at that name? Do you think people are going to get down on their hands and knees with their candle, because there's no illumination in the room except like these white candles that they give out, in which they scan to see if anything's inside of them, even though they give them out to the people who come in, and they're going to get down with like a little magnifying glass that nobody provides so that they can like read these etchings in a white floor that nobody can read because of the contrast, because there's no black ink, because the name is just etched into a white floor. It's ridiculous. Do not fear if you are destined for power. The crown is too heavy for any but kings and queens to bear, though you know nothing of your true strength until it adorns your head. Oh, again, the appeal to kings and queens. Okay. The kings and queens of this planet await the moment they can welcome you. We are the bringers of new dawns, the guardians of the human species. We are the pyramid, the eye, the light, the eternal. We are the Illuminati. That's like really, wow. Okay. Let's get that right again. It sounds like, if I could do the voice of this guy who does all of the movie trailers and all of the big epic, halftime commercials on TV. The kings and queens of this planet await the moment they can welcome you. We are the bringers of new dawns, the guardians of the human species. We are the pyramid, the eye, the light, the eternal. We are the Illuminati. Joe, a little late on the gong. Can we just do that in a second take here? Oh man, do we really have to? Can't we just, no, we got to get it right this time. Okay, just take it from We Are the Pyramid. All right, ready? We are the pyramid, the eye, the light, the eternal. We are the Illuminati. That was too soon. Come on, let's do this again. Take 3. Well, where should I start from again? You could just take it right from, we are the pyramid, that whole thing, okay? Take 3. We are the pyramid, the eye, the light, the eternal. We are the Illuminati. Can't you get that right? Okay. What are the Illuminati's membership levels? Citizen membership is open to the adult public in every country. Membership requirements are small: loyalty, dedication, and the vow to live according to the ideals of the Illuminati for the benefit of all members of the human species. I've got 2 typos right there. Membership requirements are small. That should be a capital L for loyalty. And then the ideals of the Illuminati for the benefit, according to the ideals of the Illuminati for the benefit, okay. And the vow to live according to, they've got the word to there. So for like these massive experts of like coordination, you would expect like, somebody to do proofreading before they release the book. It shouldn't have to be left to just like non-illumined people such as myself to be able to find like these glaring omissions. Ranking membership encompasses an elite group of citizens set apart from the flock as shepherds of their fellow humans. friends. This is what they told like the Bolshevik radicals in Russia, like, you know, we're going to put you in charge of this group over here and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, this appeals to like psychopaths, you know, to like be the boss of others. Like, I don't want to boss anybody around. I don't want anybody to boss me around. I'm a free person. I'm a free man. Okay. Oh man. Oh, their rank includes an official title. Oh, titles. Oh, I get to have a title. I'll wait till I tell my mom, you know, oh, I have a title. She'll be so proud. Wait till I tell all my friends that the Illuminati gave me a title and all benefits associated with the life of loyalty to the Illuminati. Okay, let's just read that again. Ranking membership encompasses an elite group of citizens set apart from the flock as shepherds of their fellow humans. Their rank includes an official title and all benefits associated with the life of loyalty to the Illuminati. Okay, let me just read that in another way. Ranking membership in the Nazi Party encompasses an elite group of citizens, the SS, set apart from the flock as shepherds of their fellow Germans. Their rank includes an official Nazi title and all benefits associated with life of loyalty to the Nazi Party. Citizens who attain distinguished positions in finance, politics, entertainment, or other fields are considered for ranking membership. A number of citizens are also chosen based upon their loyalty and willingness to be made greater, even if their current position lacks wealth or power. This again is appealing to people who've got nothing going on, people who feel like failures, okay? Even if their current position lacks wealth or power, that these people are going to be chosen based upon their loyalty and willingness to be made greater. And the idea is like, can you follow orders? If you're a good order taker and order follower, we're going to bump you up. We're going to make you an officer. You know, so when we tell you to go out and do this or that or commit whatever atrocity, you know, then we're going to bump you up. And remember, never forget the words of Voltaire, who said that anybody who can make you believe an absurdity can also get you to commit an atrocity. That's really fundamentally my main gripe, okay, and criticism of this whole Illuminati book, movement, website, whatever this thing is. I think it's probably a flash in the pan because it's just so weak and without merit that I really can't see it sustaining beyond its initial kind of like, you know, introductory foray into the world, you know, where they've invested all this money into this awesome marketing scheme, you know, with snazzy looking websites and everything. But my main concern is that it's dangerous because what they're trying to do is capture or create a following of essentially people who will simply follow orders and show loyalty. You know, not a bunch of independent thought leaders who will make their own best choices for themselves like we do in my Evolve Fest community of almost 250,000 independent thinkers. We don't tell people to show us loyalty, you know, or to think anything. Everybody's free, man. We just somehow attract really resonant, free, liberty-loving, creative, super intelligent, smart, independent thinkers, okay? But the Illuminati wants to gain a following of people who are order takers, order followers, who will not show any kind of disloyalty, who will fulfill the responsibilities granted to them. I mean, it sounds like a straight up like Nazi Hitler Youth deal or something. And my concern here is that it's such an absurdity. But what's sad is that people will buy into this, and people who buy into an absurdity are creating a false and ridiculous narrative and will follow it through. So what if people began to abuse their power within this organization, okay, and then command their faithful legions and minions to commit atrocities? Well, that's the whole point. Because they've got a bunch of true believers who lack critical and independent thought and who simply believe that by showing loyalty and following orders will result in their betterment and personal advancement, well, then we have a perfect recipe for disaster here, okay? And that's my main gripe and concern with this whole book and this whole movement. And it's summed up in the famous words of Voltaire, the French philosopher, who said that if somebody or some entity can get you to actually believe an absurdity, they also have the power to get you to commit an atrocity. Let that sink in for a moment. Council members are chosen from ranking members. Collectively, their decisions directly affect all members of the human species. Their judgments are carried out in accordance with planetary law. We spoke about planetary law yesterday. Again, the ridiculous claim that these guys have anything to do with planetary law. Any planetary law arises from the laws that we find in nature or natural law or common sense. That's where we get common law from. It comes from basic observation of the nature of things and understanding how proper relations can result in prosperity and advantage to all parties concerned. So really, nobody needs to create a new corpus or body of law, okay? Because nature teaches us about right relations. When we honor nature's law and nature's God, we have all the law that we need to have success and achieve prosperity amongst ourselves. Okay, common law is summed up in 3 primary principles, which is that you will not create injury or harm to any other person. You will not create harm or injury to any other person's property or enterprise. Okay, and finally, you'll honor all your agreements. Okay, in other words, you won't lie, you won't be dishonest, and you won't try to hurt anybody. Okay, that's really what it comes down to, being a good person. If you're a good person, you're fulfilling all the law, okay? Because it's not in your nature to be unlawful. So the idea that these guys create some kind of planetary law or like endless statutes, codes, legislation, and all this kind of stuff that proliferates, it's a bunch of bunk. A beacon for the light. 10. Daily, we receive messages from citizens whose lives have been impacted by their discovery of our organization. The Department of Citizens Outreach, formed in 2013, has touched the lives of millions by leading them to the path of knowledge. Okay, but your Facebook page only has 50,000 likes, so where's all of these other hundreds of thousands of people whose lives you have so profoundly touched? Wouldn't they be like on the premier social network platform? Putting their knowledge into practice and finding the others. Again, I don't believe this claim is legitimate. I believe it's a lie, that they've touched lives of millions and have led them to the path of knowledge. A worldwide movement has begun in all countries. With it, the promises of abundance to all who follow the light. Again, this is a bunch of like dudes sitting around in an office of like San Francisco or New York City who are trying to create the next Scientology movement, a la, L. Ron Hubbard, who just for the hell of it on a whim said, I'm going to create a new religion. And he was a science fiction writer, and he was a clever man, but extremely devious. And he created a false religion that today still thrives and flourishes, and lots of, Hollywood actors buy into the bullshit and pay into it as well. So these guys are essentially, probably 4 guys in some kind of, cubicle office space, on some 18th floor of a building in San Francisco or LA, probably LA, because that's where all the really shady business, goes on with the porn and whatnot. And they're like, what, let's just create a movement, and we'll claim to be this anonymous Illuminati. We'll get thousands of followers. We'll have them all buy our talisman, and we'll just, essentially laugh our way to the bank every day. But while your life has been led onto your path of destined greatness, many others still linger in darkness. Thousands have fallen for false organizations claiming to represent the Illuminati and found their promises unsubstantiated. In the center of the mark is the symbol for light, radiating from the all-seeing eye. This represents the calling of all Illuminati to reflect the light into the world's still darkened spaces. Again, it's that call to action, that sense of mission of taking thy light into the world, this evangelistic fervor and zeal, right? While wealth and power tempt exclusivity to the greedy, their benefits are entitled to all who reach enlightenment. There is plenty for all and more than enough for everyone. You are invited to become a beacon for the light. With the advent of online media, new methods of communication have been made available, which require little dedication, but reach many who are still lost. Again, creating this false paradigm, you've been found and everybody else is lost. It's not good for human relations to relegate everybody else into a status of being dead in their sins or lost or going to hell or anything like that. Just not healthy for human relations. To aid your reflection of the light, the Illuminati has created tools for your use. Wait, I gotta do this. What? Okay, to aid your reflection of the light, the Illuminati has created tools for your use. You may find these online at this web address. Okay. Wow, I almost froze my computer there. So much ching going on. Wait a second. What's going on here? Okay. Let's take a look at the website for a second here. So yeah, tools. Let's see what the tools are all about. Online tools. Let's get down to some real prices. Printable flyer, download PDF, Facebook. Okay, I don't want online tools. I want actual stuff. Where can I buy stuff? That's what I want to know. I want to buy your stuff, Illuminati. Okay, so home. Got home. Let's go back here and see where are we here. Okay, I'm sorry. I was ching-changing so much that I lost the page unscribed and my computer's trying to catch up here. I've got all these tabs opened. So just bear with us for a second. Let me go ahead and just say hi to you here for a moment. Okay, I've got it on screen share. Great. Hey everybody, Dave Bryson here. We're just about to wrap this up. We've got about another 10 pages to go on this critical review of the Illuminatiam book. And right now we're just trying to find our place on this page, get back in. In the meantime, let's look back at the website. Okay, so we've got about us, symbols and marks, why we're secret, verified accounts, our beliefs. Okay, we're going through a lot of the beliefs. Join the Illuminati. We already checked that out. We've got tools. Okay, what's watch? Maybe that's where they have the actual stuff that you can buy. Okay, looks like their TV show. I'm surprised they do not have their store link set up. That's really, really bizarre. Okay. Maybe there's another website. Okay, let's go back to the scribed page. And really, let's see what is going on here. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, we're back. We are back in the game, guys. Excuse me while I forward head here. And scroll down. Go ahead and take a bathroom break if you want. Get yourself a sip of water. We are nearing the end of this video series. Towards the end of the second video. Let's see where we are here. Okay. Okay. Finding purpose. We have not gotten there yet. Okay. Backing up just a bit. We have got how can I show my loyalty to the Illuminati? Okay. Okay. All right, previous to this. Okay, I think this is exactly where we left off. Yes, you are invited to become a beacon for the light. Now we're going to go ahead and jump back onto our screen share. Let's go ahead and open that up. Okay. Screen share options coming on up. Okay, we are back in the saddle, everybody. Here we go. See you at the video in just a few more minutes. Okay, to aid your reflection of the light, the Illuminati has created tools for your use, and you may find these online at illuminati.am-light. Okay, let's try that. Illuminati.am/light. So let's erase this. .am/light. And let's see what these guys are selling or where the landing page is. Got a lot of tabs open here today, boy. Okay, so we're getting to the end here. This is where we get to see the small man behind the curtain. Oz, great and powerful here. Let's see what they're really, okay, these are the tools. So they've got the printable flyer. So the link that they give in the book just lands us at the tools page. And right now it looks as if they don't have the talisman set up. So you know what, they're probably not even in production. So these guys probably jumped the gun and they have not even gotten a Japanese or Chinese fabrication company to create their cheap little talismans. Of course, if they had them on hand, they'd be selling them already so that they could be experiencing this. But apparently they're not ready. So back to the book. Use these items to reach your family, friends, companions, and those you do not know. Share the light to the furthest corners of the world and partake in the blessings that unfold from your loyalty. Again, the blessings that unfold from your loyalty. All they want is your customer loyalty. Again, lifelong loyalty. You can never turn away, and this is what brands are all about. This is just a branding initiative. How can I show my loyalty to the Illuminati? Citizens loyal to the Illuminati are not required to display their affiliation in any way, though it is encouraged and often attracts positive changes in their lives. Many choose to show their loyalty via social media by sending messages to our official handles. These can be found at illuminati.am/social. Others wear the Illuminati talisman, an iron necklace bearing our insignia. To claim your talisman, okay, let's do this. I want to claim my talisman. So illuminati.am/talisman. Let's see where this lands us this time. I did not see a link initially. So maybe they do have the talisman in production and people want to claim it. Okay, so here it is. So it's $11. Okay, they call it the mark in the book. And look at all these people showing their loyalty to the Illuminati. Countless citizens have asked for an approved method of displaying their loyalty to the Illuminati, but found none, as our organization has no need for monetary profits. Items bearing our image are not available for sale to the public. However, the Illuminati supports all who wish to show their loyalty. It is for this reason our council has made the historic decision to allow the reproduction of the Illuminati talisman necklace. This necklace is not merely a decoration. It is cast from solid iron and bears our mark struck upon its surface in red and silver, attached to a metal necklace chain. In this way, citizens may display their loyalty to the Illuminati in any manner they choose. When asked about the symbol, citizens will have the opportunity to share the light amongst their families, friends, and associates. When seen by a member of the Illuminati, you will immediately be recognized as a loyal citizen and one worthy of advancements. The universal influence of the talisman cannot be underestimated. Its attraction of the light opens doors of blessing, of power and abundance. Trust no one who claims to sell the talisman but demands high prices, as these are counterfeit. Any costs are expenses incurred in our manufacturing partners and your local postal system. The Illuminati receives no profit from the talisman. I think that's probably a lie. If you wish to display your loyalty to the Illuminati, you may obtain your Illuminati talisman on this page. You will receive detailed instructions for its use upon delivery. So, okay, let's click on order now, and let's do the math here. So that, you know, within a couple days, it looks as if, okay, add to cart. Let's just say we're going to do one here. Let's just say that the 50,000 people on their Facebook page being strongly encouraged to claim their talisman, not to buy or purchase, but to not to obtain, but to claim it. Again, total slick marketing ploy. Just claim it as if it's just there dangling in front of you. All you have to do is reach out and grab it for $11. So if you have 55,000 people times 11, okay, hold on. I think it was 50,000 people, right? Not 55,000. So 50,000 people times 11. Well, that's more than $500,000 right there. So if for no other reason that these guys are in this to get people to, you know, to take the mark, as they call this talisman in the book, the mark, you know, meanwhile, they become millionaires as they build up. And, you know, this whole scam is probably built around this cheap little talisman that they basically said in the last part that we just read has, you know, magic powers and will make you rich and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so if we select our country and see, let's see what the shipping fees are. Let's say United States. Okay, so shipping is, okay, so ultimately it's $15, okay, is what you're paying in shipping and handling. So let's just assume, you know, that that these guys can render these by their own, you know, manufacturing process in their own facility. These guys are making $11 on each one of these things, you know, not including shipping and handling. With every 50,000 people they can get to buy this thing, they make $500,000. So that's a pretty sweet deal. So that's my surmise, is that ultimately are these guys liars, lunatics, Luciferians, or Illuminati? At this point, I say they're liars. Okay, they're just like, you know, a marketing group that is basically scamming people by playing to a popular contemporary myth, which is the Illuminati. So finally, let's see here. Finding purpose. Chapter 11. If you believe the often trite idea of world domination would be impossible because someone would have surely put a stop to it, you must open your mind further. Officials entrusted to guide your societies are merely cogs in a machine of our making. Again, these godlike powers. Everybody who you think is a president or an influencer, they're just cogs in a machine that we created. Even their superiors have only the appearance of authority. True dominion over a planet would never be broadcast or provable by evidence. Again, because if you demand evidence, like, all right, Illuminati, give us proof that you have any of this authority or power that you claim. Well, of course, this is, you know, this is a dominion that, you know, can't be proven by evidence, just like they were saying before about God. There's no proof either way. Those who understand power know how to cover their tracks. So again, they're taking the negative and turning it into a positive. The best defense is an enemy who does not know you exist. You may choose to believe, or you may choose to ignore what is written in this book. We do not meddle in the religious, political, or moralistic mires of judgment, as these are merely wastes of time when the fate and survival of the human species rests upon our shoulders. You have been led to this testament, again, by unseen forces guiding you. Your destiny is unfolding in front of you. Reach out and take hold of your destiny by joining the Illuminati and swearing your loyalty, which you can never retract. We will not force you to follow its precepts. Many scholars and columnists will attempt to discredit the accuracy of this book. Yes, and we invite their words of mockery. It's not so much mockery, it's, you know, basically holding the book and the claims up to the powers of verification. You know, so in other words, you guys are making claims, so it's my right and my responsibility to contest the claims if they sound duplicitous or audacious or untenable or dubious whatsoever. But of course, smart people are not going to fall for this, so people who do fall for this are going to be surrounded, whether they're parents and friends, saying, you know, you guys are buying into a scam, don't do it. But of course, they're trying to create that martyrdom mentality of like, okay, you know, my life had no meaning until I joined the Illuminati, and all my friends are trying to tell me it's a scam, just like the, you know, multi-level marketing group I was involved with last year. You know, but no, this is the real thing because I can tell in my heart of hearts, I want to believe it's true. Please don't rain on my parade. Don't turn my dream into a nightmare. Please don't take it away. But even they will wonder if their minds are clouded by pre-existing judgments, if perhaps this book was written to invite their critical scorn on purpose. So again, the Illuminati even controls and invites the critical scorn and mockery of people who are basically contesting these ridiculous and audacious claims. Perhaps they will investigate its origins and theorize about an ulterior purpose, yes, like selling necklaces for $11. Perhaps the answers they find were fed to them by our associates to mislead any who hope to subvert our influence. Yeah, I got a phone call the other day, and that's the whole reason I'm doing these videos, because one of the Illuminati associates contacted me and fed me this information so that I would mislead any who hope to subvert the influence, or that I would mislead people who are strict adherents and true believers of this movement. Be ever doubtful of any who claim authority, including the Illuminati, right? That gives you a sense of comfort. Right? When people say, like, but don't believe me, just because I'm telling you, don't believe me. Go vet out the facts for yourself. Now that puts people at ease, because they think, listen, obviously, you know, they wouldn't be inviting me to vet out the facts if they weren't confident in their claims. Again, this is just a scam. They know hardly anybody's going to go and try to like really rigorously vet out these claims. But meanwhile, this communication that was just made is designed to put you to ease, saying, hey, listen, don't even believe our own claims. Don't believe our authority. It's your choice. So again, it's creating the illusion of choice when really what they're trying to do is brainwash you and manipulate you through slick and subtle marketing techniques. But recognize your place amongst the world's billions and the finite understanding of your mind. True enlightenment only comes from the deepest humility. Humble yourself then. Humble yourself to understand that even beliefs you have held since the dawn of your first day could be all untrue. Humble yourself to accept that all people in all places and all things in your life have happened exactly according to a universal design, whose path led you to find this book today. Again, this audacious claim that everything that your life, everything that's happened to you has led you to this point of decision. So in other words, they're trying to turn this encounter with this slick marketing device as a religious experience, okay? They want you to have an experience like you just, like, you know, discovered God, you know, as though God appeared before you and you're like, oh my God, my whole life has been leading to this point. This is how people get into horrible relationships. You know, they become infatuated with somebody who they think is their true love, their true soulmate. And they're trying to justify to all their friends who already know it's going to be a relationship disaster, but they're going strictly not from their reason, but from their emotions, because they want so badly to believe that this is the one, that he's the one, or that she's the one. And they're going to tell them stories like, my whole life has led to this choice. They're going to look into the eyes of this person that they've known for like 2 weeks and say, you complete me, you know. And then, of course, they're going to get married and they're going to get divorced like in the next 6 months, because it was all based upon, you know, just immature, unwise, unsound decisions, you know, that were driven by emotional need and insecurity rather than a wise and circumspect kind of discernment. Okay, humble yourself to know even without your understanding, all of this is orchestrated so that you may live a life of fulfillment and significance, and the human species will never face extinction. In the Illuminati's council, you are referred to as citizens, regardless of the name between the country borders that mark your home on a map. Again, we discussed citizens, the legal definition of citizen in the part 1 of this video series, which is that a citizen is somebody who agrees to enter into contract with the state. The state promises to confer certain benefits, usually in the way of protection. It's a protection racket if you give your allegiance and loyalty to the state or to the country. So in other words, this whole talk of, in fact, I just read on the news just this week, Obama and out of the White House and CNN is reporting that this, what they call a sovereign citizen movement, is a greater threat to America than ISIS, you know, this false CIA-created front of terrorist boogeymen that are, you know, they claim are chopping the heads off of people and committing all these atrocities. And they're saying that this domestic group of people that they are labeling as sovereign citizens are a greater threat than ISIS, which is a ridiculous claim. The fact is, so many people are waking up to the legal fraud. Look up on Google the legal name fraud, the birth certificate fraud. Just start from there. Look up common law, look up sovereignty. This will show you that there's a massive grassroots movement of people who are undertaking from themselves to decipher the language of legalese by obtaining authoritative sources like Black's Law Dictionary, and who are educating themselves and realizing that it's all a fucking scam and that it's all a charade and that everybody's being lied to and deceived. Now, a government that is built upon lies fears exposure. So what they're trying to do is demonize these people by putting them under the umbrella of this term sovereign citizen, which is actually an idiotic idea because these two terms are mutually exclusive. You cannot be sovereign, which means completely and utterly free, okay? You are completely autonomous. Nobody's your master, and you're a master of nobody but yourself. A citizen is a legal status that basically it's a form of voluntary servitude, because in this country it's unconstitutional. Nobody can force you to render involuntary servitude. But voluntary servitude is perfectly acceptable, and this is really the status of citizenship, which is that you that certain benefits accrue from the state that are granted to you, offered to you in exchange for your loyalty, your oath of fealty to the state, and to be part of its apparatus. So the two terms are as divergent as black and white, day and night, and yet, meanwhile, right now as we speak, they're trying to demonize all of these super creative, hyper-intelligent people who are waking up from the scam of you know, legalandia and understanding that it's all been a fraud from the very beginning. So anyway, that's the definition of citizen. All members of this planet are our citizens, and not me. I did not enter contract, and I do not wish to. I do not consent, and I revoke any contracts, implicit or otherwise stated, that would indicate in any way of my agreement to be in a consensual contractual relationship, I rescind and revoke any such appearance of previous contract, and in the present moment, I institute from this time going forward that I am not consenting to enter into any formal arrangement of contract or agreement with anybody, let alone this false group that claims to be the Illuminati. So no, I'm not a citizen of yours. All members of this planet are our citizens, and all are entitled to the benefits of abundance regardless of who they are, where they are, or any significance they may or may not have in their community. Many of our citizens have questioned their role in the plans of the Illuminati. They ask for directives and instructions, for orders from the Illuminati leaders on what they must do next. Some feel as though their temporary lack of wealth or influence renders them powerless and unimportant. But do not concern your mind with such things. Wealth and power find a way to those whose eyes are too fixed upon the light to be concerned with them. All have a part to play in the universal design. Your part is just as important as any other. Does the clockmaker favor the larger gears over the smaller? Does the hour hand become jealous of the minutes because it turns slower? Every part has a role in the functioning of a timepiece. Every part supports those around it in ways it may never see. Though you may think you are purposeless, it is only because you cannot see the great duties you perform. Ponder the words in this book. Allow them to permeate your life and decisions. Even if you doubt them, give these words but an inch of belief, and they will return tenfold. Tell your family, friends, and associates that you've been born again. To read this testament, invite them to join you on this path of abundance. Await the second testament and further guidance as we near the age of Illuminatiam. There is plenty for all and more for those who lead others to the joys of enlightenment. As you climb the Great Pyramid, seeking the light that beams from its top, you will look down upon all the others and see that you have always been one part of our universe's most intricate mechanism. You are significant, and you are important. The journey is long, but we await you at its end. Fear nothing that is ahead. We are always watching out for you. Big Brother always watches out for you. Contact the Illuminati. Contact information for the Illuminati can be found online at illuminati.am/contact. Though we receive thousands of messages per day and cannot reply to all requests, know that your message is important and your needs are always given appropriate consideration. Official messages from the Illuminati. The Illuminati regularly sends messages of guidance to its citizens. To receive them, visit our website, illuminati.am. We are always looking out for you. Fear not, for your war-stricken, poverty-ridden planet, the age of Illuminatiam will soon begin. The Illuminati's path for humanity, our universal design, has spanned throughout centuries to safeguard the human species from extinction. This testament is your life's guide to all that is ahead. Revelations about our role in history, decades-old secrets of wealth and abundance, guidance on how to join the Illuminati and your true purpose in the future of this world. And that is the end of the book. So there you have it, folks. Thanks for spending your time with us to get through this book. I think it's pretty clear now. These people who claim to be the Illuminati, are they liars, lunatics, Luciferians, or the Illuminati? My personal vote, just liars, just like some, 4 guys in a San Francisco office building who said, hey, let's create our own version of Scientology and get everybody invested, create a brand with a lifelong commitment from our dedicated, loyal followers, and we'll just sell lots of necklaces. So that is my current thought. And again, I challenge that if this is really the Illuminati, that they, make this video disappear from the internet, since they watch all things, right? In the meantime, let's jump back here. Again, my name is David Bryson. Here's the Illuminati's page on Facebook, by the way. 51,000 people. You can find me online and connect with me. I'm currently filled on my friends list, but you can follow me if you want to and send messages at David Andrew Bryson. You can find me on Facebook as David Andrew Bryson. I do have another page as just David Bryson, which you can read there. And then I run a yoga festival, a transformational festival called Evolve Fest. We encourage everybody to jump on the Evolve Fest page. We only almost have 250,000 likes. And we do a festival every single year. You can go read more about the festival at evolvefest.com. We're in our 9th year. And we hope to meet up with you at Evolve Fest and bring all intelligent, creative, ethical people together to really be the change that we want to see and be, you know, self-governing and really come up with solutions that address human needs without having to rely on these vacuous promises of these, you know, imaginary organizations who will never show up to do anything. Somebody put up there, I am the devil. What did we write? Oh, poser. Okay, but anyway, so just to give you an idea kind of where we're coming from here. I thought this was a good one. I'm going to send this message.
Congratulations. You are one of only 375 people that will ever get the chance to see
more marketing BS like the stuff we just read. I want to leave this page. Thank you. Okay, back here. So yeah, so this pretty much sums up. So this message is going out to the Illuminati, Rothschilds, and Rockefellers, sizing up the Rothschilds, Rockefeller vision of a new world order. There you have it, friends. See you on the other side. Subscribe to our YouTube page. The videos will continue to be forthcoming. Just stop screen sharing here. And once again, just thank you for spending this time together. Please, if you like this video, share it with your friends. There is a part 1. And you can look for that on YouTube. Until next time, we wish you the very best. God bless you.